Steve,
Hi, Nick.
clean and fresh,
Yes.
driven all the way down from rainy Wales,
Yes,
or
all the
up
way from
from rainy
Suffolk.
Wales. What is it? Up or about
It's up.
level, isn't it?
Yeah,
Little bit.
they're about, yeah.
How long was the drive?
Just under 3 hours, and to be honest, it was quite a good drive.
Was it?
Yeah, I left super early because I thought to myself, one thing I don't want to do is be late for this, and I don't like being late anyway, so I
And
did
I
leave
was
early.
late.
You was, but it's
Only
fine.
15, 10,
No,
15.
I
Yeah,
know.
flooding here has been horrendous. Absolutely
Yeah, I
horrendous.
did see it. I've seen it just all over TikTok
Yeah.
and social media. I was quite surprised when my daughter sent me the video, and I could see the depths of it because it was up to the tyres of the cars, wasn't it?
So
it was
up near
quite
the train
surprising.
station where we live, that was, you couldn't get there. It was, a foot
Yeah.
of water, and there was fire service boat in there and whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, glad you're here. Why are you here then?
I suppose to have a chat with yourself, get my positive energy out there a bit to the people because, my TikTok journey, I like to raise people's spirits. I like people to believe in themselves again. And, for people to know that they're not on their own because it's even with mental health, to be honest, right? Mental health and especially mental health as a whole with everybody is bad enough. But I think men's mental health is overlooked because there's so many men that struggle. How many men, I've done it, where I've sat in my car over time and just screamed on the driveway, then gone in the house and smiled to my kids and pretended everything's okay, make a fuss of them, then put them to bed, then cry for about 3 or 4 hours because I went through stages, like a lot of people, of deep depression. And I went through 2 breakdowns in my life. And I say to people, when I say this, it's like, it can't be possible. I said, I went through 2 functioning breakdowns. They went, how can you function if you had a breakdown? Because when you've got kids depending on you, you have to function.
Yeah.
So you function between the times when they are there. And when they're not around, then you go to work, you try a bit. But it's hard. It's a struggle. But you get through it. And do you know what? I always remember with I think I was about 2014, 2015. When it first happened to me, and it was really bad, and I go shopping, and I comes back, and I done the silly thing. I put all the shopping away, and about half hour later, I wanted a cup of tea, so it goes in the kitchen, and I couldn't find the milk. And I was like, I bought the milk, where have I put the milk? So I actually found out I put the milk in the cupboard and the tea bag in the fridge. And it's bonkers, but stuff like that, with your mind the way it is, you start doing things, and you don't even realize. So helping people and showing people there's help out there and not to be afraid to reach out because do you know what? I remember a friend of mine, he recently come to me, I say recently, it was about 2 years ago, and he was going through stuff. And he said to me, I don't know what's wrong with me. So he said, I don't feel right. And he said, I don't want to use the word depressed because he said, I don't believe in that. So all the stuff that I went through, I was never open with him because anyone that doesn't understand it, they just make fun of it or they'll say things like, snap out of it, you need a damn good shaking, and it's things like that you don't want to hear. It's things like that you shouldn't be hearing. But when he was talking to me, and when he was saying, at night time, I just feel like I don't want to be here no more, I was like, right, you're depressed. And I talked through it with him. He said, how do you know so much? I said, because I live it myself. I go through it. He said, why didn't you ever say? I said, if I ever told you what I went through, would you have believed me at the time? He said, no. I said, what would you have said to me? He said, I probably would have laughed at you. And I said, that's the problem with the world. Now you're in this cycle. Now it's happening to you, and you want a bit of understanding because you don't even understand why it's happening. But it happened with him when he lost his father, and that's when it all started because he lost his father. Then his marriage broke down. So it started escalating. But then he truly understands now what it's like in the darkness. And seeing so many people and men struggle alone is scary, especially when, as males, we've got to play this hard persona. We're not allowed to put out there how we really feel. You're not allowed to show emotions. I don't believe in all that BS. I'll cry. If I want to cry, I'll cry. I'll show emotions all the time. I think it's important as a man, and more people should be like that and not be afraid to tell people how they're feeling, the stuff that is going on in their head, on a daily basis. Because sometimes I say all you need, even if you don't understand, have a sympathetic ear. Sit with them, listen to them, and you might just change that person's day by just literally doing nothing, just sitting there, using your ears, and so many people don't do that. So TikTok is allowing me to do that, giving a sounding board for everybody. And when I started the journey, I never visualized how far it would go to this point because the amount of inboxes I get on a daily basis is unreal. And I committed to the app. I said that when everybody inboxes me, everybody will get a response. There's not one person I've never responded to because it's important to me. because I'm going to be open and honest with the TikTok app, as I will be. There's so many people on there which are genuine. So many people I see, creators, they are genuine. And there's so many on there which are full of BS, right? They will say the words that I'm saying, but they haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They just make it up as they go along. They listen to other people's videos and they put it out there. And then when people are messaging them, they don't respond to them. I know that because people message me and say, I'm shocked you've responded. Why are you shocked? Oh, well, we went to so-and-so, and I'm not going to name them. And they don't respond to us. Yeah, because they don't understand. They just putting it out there as a video, but then they don't really understand the depths of it. So they're not being true to themselves. So with me, I'm open and honest. I say to everyone, you get a reply, and they do. And I'll keep on talking to people. I don't leave people hanging or people unread for like 3 or 4 days, because some people might be messaging me and they need some serious help, you know? I had a guy, it was about a year ago, on a live, and it shocked me. He was from South Africa, I think he was from. And he was on a live, and was having an energetic live. And then all of a sudden, someone came in and said they were suffering with depression. The live is guided by the people. If they're suffering with depression, we'll lower the tempo, forget about, raising the spirits. Let's have a chat about it. And this guy come in and he goes to me, I've just come across your page now. I'm sat here with a gun in my mouth. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? So everyone in the live now is like, didn't know what to say. And they started messaging. I was like, can everyone just please stop messaging? I'm going to speak to this guy. We kept the live open. I said, the guy, talk to me, stay with me. What's brought you to this point? I've lost my wife, my kids, and my life is not great. And he was going on and on and on. And he was going, I just want to end it. And he said, the reason that I haven't ended it at this moment in time, because he said, I put a gun in my mouth, and he said, my phone popped open, and you're there. And he said it was a video, and I started watching it. And then he said it started resonating a bit with me, and then I could see you alive. So he said, I thought I'd come on and ask for a bit of help. And that in itself, I was holding back the tears, because when I come off that live, wow, that was so powerful. Thank you.
Hold on.
Yeah, thank you. And that was hard. And it was so much energy in that life to try and keep him there. And I broke my heart. When I come off it, I broke my heart for about an hour. But I messaged him the next day, and then he messaged me back, and he said, no, I'm all right. And he messaged for a few weeks, and he came onto the live, and then obviously he was all right, so he went off into the distance. But I'm glad I was able to do that. And it's so empowering when stuff like that, and it's real stuff like that happens, and you're thinking, wow, And a lot of people have come to me and said, you don't realize you changed my life. And I'm like, I haven't changed your life. You've changed your life. Yeah, but, we come across your video or you've talked to me. I said, I understand, but I wouldn't take any recognition for it. But now I'm realizing the power and the impact that it's having, and the help is giving people hope as well, rather than think I got no one to speak to, so I'll keep it to myself. And then it's the other side, making people believe in themselves again, and making them understand that they might have been through a bad relationship and a narcissistic relationship, and it's taken them years to recover, and they're thinking, I'm never going to meet anyone, I'm not going to have a life again because, everyone has put me down. And I like to instill that belief back into people, make them believe in themselves, because it's not just words. We can achieve anything we want in life, Your testimony to that yourself at this moment in time, So anything you want and desire in life, if you work hard enough and you believe in yourself, you will do it. You will do it. And I think that's important to put out there for a lot of people, But it's just surprising how many people haven't got that support and don't believe in themselves. I was saying to someone the other day, because I said, why don't you believe in yourself again? Oh, because my ex-partner told me I was no good. They told me I was fat, I was ugly. Well, I said, let me tell you this now. I said, you're beautiful on the inside as well as the out. I said, forget about what he said. He's putting his imperfections onto you. He's part of the past. I said, if 10 people were in a room and 9 of them said you were beautiful, but 1 said that you were ugly at this moment in time, you believe the 1. They went, yeah, I would. I said, but you've got to learn to change your mind the other way. Because I said, it's all about retraining your mind. Press the reset button. I know it's not easy, but you believe in what one person said, but you won't believe that many people could say you're a nice person, or you're a pretty person, or you can achieve this, you can achieve that. And I said, you've got to start learning to retrain yourself. Because it's true, I believe in retraining the mind, because over time, I've had people put things in you with me, trying to hold me back, and they did, to a degree. And then you start believing it. And you start believing you're not capable of anything. And then I started realizing, nah, this is not right. I don't need to change myself. I need to change the people I'm around. And when I had a look around me, I had friends which ripped me off for a lot of money, because I'm a nice guy. Steve's dependable. We'll take his kindness for some weakness, and they manipulated me. But they managed to manipulate me, two of them, off a back end of what I was going through. Because the one, I was coming out of a narcissistic relationship, so when I come out of that, all of a sudden, they're my best friend in your world, trying to support me, trying to help me, but they were just predators. And I didn't learn at the time because I was going through stuff, and I always say the universe will always teach us. And if we don't learn the lesson which is provided in front of us, we're never going to change. The same thing will happen again and again and again. So I didn't learn. I got rid of him out of my life, and then another one came in, done exactly the same thing when I was vulnerable. And then I finally realized the penny dropped. It's me is the problem. It's not them, it's me. I'm allowing them into my life. So I don't need to change myself. I need to change the people I got around me. So quite quickly, I learned that lesson which was being put in front of me, and I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I need to live my life. These people are holding me back and stopping me from doing what I want to do. I ended up living the life that they wanted me to live for them. So I cut ties with them. And it went for my family as well, mind. I cut all my family out because my family were toxic and draining to me. They weren't good to my girls. They had nothing nice to say. So I thought, the only way I'm going to change my life is by changing my environment. And I'm responsible for my environment. So I started changing it. And as soon as I started doing that, and I worked more on me, I started changing this. And the way I thought, and the way I handled each and every single situation, my life started evolving. More positive stuff was coming to me. You know, I say that the universe, I use that word a lot, but I was giving more positive energy and it was giving back to me. It was almost like saying, right, you've learned those lessons now, so we're not teaching you again. You don't need to. You're fine. So you're giving us some positivity. We're going to give it back to you. And I don't get, like, for a long time, I was always one of these people that used to get up like a lot of people, and you'd spill a cup of tea in the morning, you go, oh, I'm going to have a bad day. That's it. You already trained your mind in that instance to say, that is it. My day is over, really. My week is going to end up as bad. I don't do that no more. I get up. I done it the other week. I dropped the plate on the floor. It smashed. I actually burst out laughing. I was like, do you know what? I turned the negative into positive. I need new cutlery. That's an excuse to buy new cutlery. So I threw it in the bin, went about my day. I had a fantastic day. You know? So I do believe changing your mindset and changing your environment is so important to your future growth and your well-being as well, you know, because cutting out the people I did has helped me to move forward. It's going to continue to help me to move forward. And the people that I can see that I'm trying to help along the way, and for them to, the amount of people I've had this week have messaged me and said, oh, I've changed this, I've changed that, and it works. I'm like, great. You know what I mean? It's nice to know that I'm putting some goodness out there to everybody. I'd like to think, anyway. So.
Wow.
You did call it the waffle. I can waffle.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay in myself. Like I say, I'm very driven, very positive. So, yeah.
But really, how are you? Because I know how much all of this takes out of people.
It does take a lot. It does take a lot. And sometimes I get emotional with it because you are right. And thank you for asking, because some people ask, but not in the way that you've just done it.
Not many people know.
No, they don't. They don't. And it took a lot out of me. It does take a lot out of me. I had an incident last week within TikTok with, it happened to be women. I don't label people, but it happened to be women. And they give me an element of pain within the course of 4 hours. And it was no need for it. But what I'm learning, and obviously there's loads of content creators out there, and I think as the page goes on, you're going to get a lot of hate. And I've had some hate. I've had some really bad hate from the positive stuff I'm putting out there. People hate on that, you know, all the goodness, people hate on it. They just hate. And some women within the platform as well, I do not treat that as a dating app, and I'll put that out there. I never have. I always said, my journey on TikTok, I take it very serious. It's about supporting and helping people. So some women will message me. And I've always said, if a woman messaged me and I'm a single bloke and I liked her, I would step it away from the app and engage. But what I found is last week, there was a couple of women in particular did step forward, and he was showing me they were interested. So I let them down in the nicest way possible, and I had a lot of world of pain for it because they went a little bit psychotic. And that comes down to the fact that maybe they are still hurting, they still haven't learnt themselves, and they can't handle the rejection. And then they get nasty, and I'm thinking, I'm not here for that, you know. So it was easier to block them. But yes, it's things like that that pull me down. And it's things like that. Sometimes you go, oh my God, I'm giving up on this. I'm not doing this no more because it's taking so much out of me. And what people don't understand is there've been many a times I've come off TikTok and I've actually cried my eyes out. And I have, because it's emotionally drained me. It takes a lot out of you. It's worth it to see people get on, and I'll continue to do it, but it does drain you. So I appreciate you asked it in the way you do, because yeah, you understand it. It does take a lot out of you emotionally, you know. And running 2 businesses and going on there, that's a full-time job in itself, because I push out, which you will see when you have a look, you'll see I push out a lot of videos. I do anything from 20 to 50 videos a day sometimes. I'm crazy with it, but I'm very dedicated to the app, very dedicated to the app. And I put a mixed bag of videos out as well. I like to have fun with it. So there's some on there, and people say to me, oh, you need help, in a good way, because I created a fictional character called Brother Steve. But why I done that is because I'm talking about inspiring and encouraging people, which is great. And I talk about narcissistic relationship, or a bad relationship in general that people come out to, and, you know, life growth and stuff like that. But then I thought, creating a fictional character where I'm not taking myself serious and we're having a laugh around with it, somebody might get up on one morning or in the afternoon and they're having a real shit day. And they just cry in and they go, I got no direction no more. And they flick open TikTok, because most people do it now, and they see someone on there acting like a complete prat. And all of a sudden in that instance, they just laugh. They just laugh. They stop thinking about what they was thinking about. Next thing you know, they think to their mates, have you seen this guy on TikTok? Look at him. What the hell is he doing? It takes them away from reality. Even if it's only for an hour, it takes them away from their own reality. So I think it's important to have that joy and, you know, some joking videos in the mix as well. So I do like to do a mixed bag of stuff, but it does take a lot of energy to do it and a lot of my time. But I've always lived by the principle, and it's not something that I come up with, because I don't own something that I never said. But I always remember Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, there's 24 hours in a day. You sleep for 8 hours, it leaves you with 16. He said, you go to the gym for an hour, you work for 8 hours, it leaves you 7 hours. He said, no more excuses. You've got 7 hours to change your life. And it's true. It's true. And it was something I said to someone the other day, because they come in, messaging me, and they said, I'm fed up of my life, I'm fed up with my job. Well, I said, look, to change your job. Oh, well, I can't, I still got to earn money. I understand that. Well, you know, you've got 24 hours in a day. Oh, yeah, but I do this and that. I said, you're making excuses. I said, I tell you what, then, what do you do on the weekends? He said, what do you mean? I relax. Don't relax. I said, use the weekends to create the life you want. Simple as that. I said, when you create the life you want, you get your weekends back. I said, there's always a way. I said, if you're going to keep on making excuses, and you keep on writing those book of excuses, they'll keep on piling up. And your life will still be on that same position in 5 years' time, not evolving, not going anywhere. I said, it all comes down to a choice, and you got to make that choice. Do you want your life to change, or do you want to stay where you are? If you want to stay where you are, stop moaning. If you want it to change, do something. Nobody's going to change it for you. So,
I say this to everybody that comes on my podcast now, because it's really powerful. Had a guy on called Tom about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Life coach. And he said, you need to read a book. It's called 4,000 Hours.
Right, okay.
And what it means is, goes through the whole thing. But if you're really lucky, you get 4,000 hours, 4,000 weeks.
Yeah.
You get 4,000 weeks to live if you make it to 80. Now, I'm 45.
Yeah.
I've got 34 Christmases left. That's it. I had 35. Christmas is gone. I've got 34, if I'm lucky.
I know, I was seeing it now. I seen your video. And I did, because that touched home with me. I'm the same age as you. I'm 45. And when I watched that, I thought, wow, I always say that nothing is coincident in life. You're meant to see things. And when I seen that video, and it was your video, I was like, wow, that's empowering. Very, because when you think of it that way, we haven't got long left.
No. 34 summers, 34 winters, 34 Christmases, 34 New Years, if we're lucky.
So why do people waste
One of us in
that?
this room statistically is going to get cancer.
Yeah, it's true. We've all got the cancer cell. It just takes something to trigger it. So you're right.
So don't waste time doing things that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
You can get out of a bad relationship. You can get out of a shitty job. You can get out of a terrible town and go and spend those next 35 Christmases doing what you want to do.
Exactly. And I always say to people as well, when it comes down to job, I said, if you end up doing something that you enjoy, like you're doing what you enjoy, I'm doing what I enjoy, I don't class what I do as work anymore.
No.
Because I always say, if you get something you're enjoying and you get paid for it, you'll never work a day in your life again. And that's the way I look. Because people say, "Oh, you work hard." I said, "I don't work. I'm doing my hobbies. My hobbies. I got a couple of different hobbies going on, which I get paid from, and I get paid well for doing them, and I enjoy it. You know." And I work to get paid for them in that sense, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the journey.
So I said to Ben, we came in the day after Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And I said, Ben, this is the first time in my life I can remember looking forward to coming back to work. The day after Boxing Day.
Because you do something you enjoy.
Yeah, because it's not work.
Yeah.
It's here. It's having a chat. It's having a laugh. It's editing videos. It's just...
It's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's what my soul needs to do.
It is, and like I've watched some of your videos, and I can see the passion within you as well, and I can see how genuine you are, and it's quite good to see that, because you will excel in all this. Why? Because you've got to drive it and you're enjoying it, and if you enjoy something, you will always excel, because you'll learn more and more and more and more and more.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't know if you said it, during the recording or before, you can do anything.
Yes,
you can do anything, but you've got to make sure that the thing that you choose to do, you're passionate about. And I say this to people that come to me and say, I want to start creating content, but I don't know what content to create. And I said, you have to create something that you can see yourself doing forever, even if you never get paid for it.
Exactly.
Because if you jump onto some trend that, I don't know, or we're just about to start entering into a crypto bull run. So somebody might go, right, I'm going to start making crypto videos. And they might do really well for a year or two. But then when the bear market comes and everybody's lost interest in it, you lose interest in it. So all of a sudden, you stop making content. Whereas if you're passionate about something, if you like Lego figures and making them battle each other, I couldn't care less if you're 60 or 6, make content. Because you will find your people that like watching what you do. But the beauty of it is you're going to be able to continue making that content because it's what you want to do in your soul.
Of course it is. And when I started off, like I say, years ago when I started doing videos, that was for my business page, and I wanted people to see the real me. Because I figured if people can see the real person, the person behind the business, and see, right, this guy is willing, he's not just sat in the office, he's willing to muck against it, he has a laugh and a joke, he allows us into his family life, they trust in that, and they did. And TikTok, like working with that, when I started working with it, I didn't work with TikTok and have in my mind, oh, I'm going to start with TikTok now because I want to earn money. That never come into it. I started working with TikTok because I genuinely wanted to help people. And when people have come to me and said, well, how do you make it look so easy? I said, because I'm just being me. I said, pretty much on the lines where you said, you've got to find something. But fundamentally, I said, be yourself. Be yourself. Do what you enjoy. Be yourself. Put it out there on a video, and people will either love you or they hate you. There's people that love me, people that hate me. You'll have the same on your channel. We all do, you know. But I went into it to help people. And along the way, let's make no bones about it, you start getting royalties for it. And that's what happens. And am I going to embrace that? Of course I'm going to, because I put a lot of time and effort into it. So why would I'd be silly not to? I'd be silly to say, I'm not having that.
If I gave you £10 million right now, would you be happy?
I'll never be happy, no.
But you'd be quite happy?
I'd be quite happy, yeah.
But if I said to you, don't wake up tomorrow morning, would you take it?
No, I wouldn't take it.
No. So you saving that one man's life is worth more than £10 million.
Of course it is.
So anybody that says, I can't believe you're getting paid for this or you're getting paid for that,
I know.
You've saved a life.
Yeah.
I've saved a life, at least. So really, you can't put a monetary value on that.
No, you can't. Do you get people as well? Because I've had people around me where they kind of take the mickey a little bit, you know, because, oh, he's on social media, does these videos and that.
In real life?
Yeah. And I've had it. One person.
Should I tell him about Gemma's mum?
Well, you're going to have to tell me now. Go on.
You carry on first.
No, so, and, you know, I have one person particularly, he always constantly ridicules me about the videos. And I said, look, you don't have to watch me. He said, I don't. I said, you clearly do watch my content, because I said you watch it either on TikTok or you watch it on a Clean and Fresh page, because I said, if you didn't watch it, you wouldn't know about it. It's as simple as that. But I say to him, look, you do not understand. Because we went to Cyprus, we went to a friend's wedding in May last year. And I ended up, I obviously sometimes you've got to do things for the sake of other people. And with Adam, it was his wedding, and when my father died, he was the first one there for me. I remember ringing him, he had a load to drink, he couldn't drive, so he cycled 15 minutes on his bike. I don't even know how he managed to keep on the straight line, but he did, and he got down to my house, and he rang his brother, and he got me to the hospital. And I'll never forget that. So when he was getting married in Cyprus, I said, whatever happened, I'll have to go. But it ended up I had to stay with 2 people that are not my people, and I don't feel comfortable with them. So I stayed with them, and then they came up with my videos and that, so we had a bit to drink. So I pulled Mark to one side. I said, what is your problem with my videos all the time? Oh, I said, I'm fed up with it, all this positivity crap you're putting out there. I said, I don't understand why you've got to put so much hate towards it. I said, you don't understand. And I told him the story that I told you about the guy, like, and he went quiet for a bit. I said, you do not understand. I said, it's people like you who send people over the edge. And I said, do you understand as well, social media is taking over the world? He said, what do you mean? I said, because most people on social media are earning good money. And he was like, what? I said, they are. And I said, if you don't roll with it, because he is struggling in business. I said, if you don't start rolling with the times and changing something, and I said, I would begin on social media, and that's where you're going to start excelling. But he still thinks it's a big joke. And I say, that's fine. You can keep your opinion. But I said, I'm moving forward what I'm doing. And I said, in 10 years' time, we'll have another chat. And I know what the conversation is going to be, you know? Because I'll be, and without being cocky with it, I'll be excelling a lot more because I'm working hard and I keep on being me. And I keep on pushing the content out, doing what I'm doing. Because, you know, the ultimate goal for me is to build social media so I get more people to help and more people to support. And as it grows, you're going to earn more money. That's just part of the parcel, you know?
It's your reward.
It is your reward.
For
I do believe we should have rewards for it if we're working that hard.
We've all got to eat.
Exactly.
But people only question things when they see somebody earning a bit of money. They don't see all the work that goes in for the thousands and thousands of hours before where you earn nothing.
Exactly.
But so I started my TikTok channel back in October 2022. Yeah, so just over a year. And probably within about so within a 2 to 3 months, because it was around about the Christmas time, my teenage daughters came back from school one day and said, "Oh, Dad," I'm saying Gemma's mum, but that's just a fictional name. It was her mum.
Yeah.
Such and such has seen you on TikTok. You're so embarrassing. What you do in motivational talks, this, that, and the other. Please stop. You're embarrassing us at school. And then day after day, you started getting. I'm thinking, God, you know, I've probably got about 8,000 followers or something at the time. And when I first started it, I didn't use my name.
Yeah.
I didn't use my profile picture. I set it to not made content for children. And I very quickly worked out that if I swore a lot, the algorithm would pick that up and put it out towards more.
That works.
Yeah. If
it works, you're going to run with it, yeah.
Of course. And I'm thinking, God, what do I do? What do I do? So I just ploughed on with it.
Yeah.
I said, you know, give me the names of the people that have seen me, and I found them and blocked them so they can't see my content. I was in the Co-op maybe 3 months ago. Gemma's mum was like, "Oh, you're doing well, aren't you, on social media now? Fancy going out for a drink?"
Really?
Come on. So it's amazing.
Because she sees you as famous now.
Absolutely right. But I could have quite easily have given up then. And there were times, like you were saying, I feel like giving up because I had no idea you were going to get paid. No idea. There was no creativity based program then.
I didn't.
There was
I
nothing.
didn't know at all. It said it flags up at a certain point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
But it wasn't even a thing until September.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a thing. So I'd done October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So I'd gone through all of that. So I was making content because I enjoyed it and because people were messaging me. So I was also a tennis coach. I am still a tennis coach, what I've done for 20 years. And in the February of 2023, I get a phone call. Hi, Nick, it's such and such from the LTA, which is the Lawn Tennis Association. We've come across your TikTok channel. And we don't think it's appropriate. The language you use, stuff like that. So I tried and tested everything. What videos getting traction, what don't? Do I do this? Do I do that? And there was, you might be able to remember him. And there was a guy, muscular guy with long hair, and he'd walk up to the camera and he'd have some water in his mouth or something, and he'd go, "Get yourself back to the fucking gym."
Oh, is he American or Australian?
Yeah.
He used to swing a bat around.
Yes.
Yeah, he comes up now and again.
So I thought, that's quite good. And a lot of blokes had reached out to me and said, look, I just find myself death scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I just can't stop looking at these young girls. Because at the time it was full of young girls dancing, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I made a few videos where I found one of these young girls that's just doing nothing, and I stitched it after a couple of seconds, and I come and I say, stop fucking looking at these girls and get yourself back in the gym. It's funny. It was in the context of TikTok. Well, that was one of the ones that they'd found. Yeah. This is inappropriate. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know anything about it? That's porn. I said, it's just a video that I've stitched, but they don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I got suspended for 2 months. Couldn't coach. It was fucking awful.
Wow.
I'm making no money out of TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, shit.
Yeah.
What do I do here? Anyway, long story short, the woman from the LTA phones me up after a couple of months. I've started back. She's like, oh, you've got a really big channel now, haven't you? Just make sure that you don't cross. And I said, I've not crossed any lines. There's no child protection or anything there. And it kind of all blew over. But that was the catalyst for me to then, which is amazing because what you were talking about while we were off camera, was I thought, I need a plan B. Because at any moment, somebody could pull the plug on it. It was made so obvious. So I went and bought not a burger van, but a horse box.
Right, go on. Yeah,
and converted it into a Mexican van.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And it was called the Meatless Mexican, and it's all documented. Yeah. Painted it, kitted it all out, and young Ben over there came and used to help me on a Saturday. And went to festivals and things like that. Well, I've taught him tennis since he was 7.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And now he's at college and he's been with it the whole way. But yeah, so it was interesting that you said me and my mate got a burger van at some point. But yeah, so I mean, I've not done anything with it since September time because it just wasn't making money. The amount of hassle that went into it, it just wasn't worth it.
It wasn't.
We'd be there all day, spend hundreds of pounds on stock. You pay for the stand. You pay Ben 100 quid. You look at what you've earned at the end of the day, and you've got 40 quid profit. I'm thinking, it's just madness.
It's not worth. Do you know what? When we had it, because we was paying someone on there, it wasn't making enough money to pay ourselves. So we started then. It was a local club by us. They used to call it Grab a Granny Night. What
was it, nightclub?
Sort of, yeah. Oh. It's like Grab a Granny Night. So basically, the youngsters used to go on there and they go on with their older woman.
Where was this? What was this club called?
It's in Caerphilly. It's called the Social Club.
In where? Near Cardiff?
In Caerphilly, yeah. So not far from Cardiff. So... it still does the same thing now. So I never really bothered the place. So when we had the burger van, I remember going to the committee people there and I said to them, right, got this burger van, let us park it in your car park. We figured no one else is there, so we can go in here. We can earn a bit of money on a Friday night. So it goes up to the people in charge and said, look, can we put in your thing? We'll give you, I can't remember, I think it's 10% or whatever we have. And the guy said, no. Well, right next to him, there's Morrison's car park. So we asked Morrison's if we could park in here Friday night for an hour or so. And they agreed to it. Didn't have to pay him anything. It was great. So anyway, they started coming out in floods. We'd be there for an hour. Probably took about £180 at the time or whatever it was. But it was like pocket money for me and him. And that's what we were doing. And then the chairman, he soon came out and he said, oh, you can put it in the car park now. And we was like, no, we're all right. We're doing it here for free. But that was the only way we could earn money off that van. Because the day-to-day running, the time we paid for the food, the time we paid that person, it was a nightmare. So it was just like, it's not worth it. So we just ended up getting rid of it, cutting our losses. To be honest, we didn't really lose because when we sold it for a little bit more than what we paid for it because we did a little bit more to it. So we still came up with a profit. And we sold it as a business to suppose of just selling as a van because it was actually stationed somewhere on a daily basis. So, but yeah, it was no money in it, But you learn these things, don't you?
But hats off to people that do it for a living.
Oh, I know.
I mean, geez, it is such hard work. So I got PTSD still from this. He knows what we're talking about. So BBC Radio 2 came to Leicester, to
Yeah.
Abbey Park in September. And I, being a tennis coach, I was teaching a woman that worked for the local council.
Yeah.
And she emailed me on the day because she knew what I was doing. And she says, BBC Radio 2 are coming and they're looking for food vendors,
Yeah.
local food vendors, to come and sell food there. Here's the application form, send it off. So I got straight onto it, bashed it all out. £150 admin fee before you've even done anything. And then it goes, they select who they want, and then BBC Radio 2 come on and say, right, these are the ones that we want.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, this is going to be a gold mine. There's, how many people was there, Ben? 70,000 people? 70,000 people over 2 days.
Wow.
Now, we're selling burritos at £10 a go there. And you're thinking, right, we're going to fill our boots here.
Yeah.
So we eventually get accepted on. It costs £800 just for the electricity hookup.
I'm smiling because I'll
Over
get to
2
something
days.
after this. Go on. Yeah.
2 days for electricity, 800 quid. I do some very rudimentary mathematics and I go, right, 35,000 people a day.
Yeah.
10% of the population are vegetarian because my food was, it was called the Meatless Mexican.
Yeah.
It was veggie and vegan. So that's 3,500 people that are going to be looking for food. There's probably going to be a couple of other stalls there. So if we gauge for about 1,000 to 1,500 a day,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to take in 15 grand a day. Over the 2 days, it's 30 grand. You take that, you pay the lads, you do everything, you've made a little bit of profit. So for the entire week leading up to it, Ben's around my house, we're batch cooking, we've got other lads coming and picking things up in deliveries. I've hired a van, I've got my best mate has decided he's going to come and help me. He's put his freezer in the back of this van. We've taken it there, I've bought an awning, we've gone all out. We get there on the first day, the day before, I think it was Saturday, Sunday, and we've got there on the Friday to set up. Bearing in mind, I've taken a couple of young lads with me because it's a big thing to set up. And we get there, sniffer dogs come out. It's a big deal, do you know what I mean? Let you in. Where are we? The woman goes, oh yeah, follow me. So we drive in, and you've got the whole arena's over on this side.
Yeah.
And we drive in, and we go into this little area. Well, it's a bit odd.
Out of the way, like.
So she's like, right, here's your stand. And next to me, there's a little horsebox coffee thing. Next to that, there's a little converted horsebox pizza van. And then next to them is one of those big, what are they called? Big silver Airstream American-like caravan done out. And they're selling dirty fries.
Right, okay.
Okay? It's a very small area, and there's a little ice cream van there, and there's this beautiful like canopy tent where the bar is, and there's a big screen. And I said to the woman, I said, what's here then? She says, oh, this is the VIP section. I'm like, oh, right, what does that mean? She says, well, anybody that works for the BBC or acts, the singers and whatnot, this is their own private area.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how many people are going to be in here then? Because you're now starting to think about these numbers. And she says, about 1,000.
Oh, God.
So now all of a sudden, my maths is going, okay, 1,000, that's 100 veggies maybe. We're the only veggie thing here. We might sell 100 a day, which doesn't even cover the electricity costs.
No, she'll out of pocket massively.
The ice cream van,
Yeah.
which was there, his partner was in the main arena. So after the first day, we've made friends with this guy. He's giving ice creams out. It's that dead. We've gone over having a chat with him. He says, how much you made today? He says, well, let me first tell you how much my business partner's made in the main arena. Done like 7 grand.
Jesus.
He'd done £17.
That's
£17. £17.
Shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
17 quid.
Wow. Yeah.
Not only that, the VIP section opens at 11 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah.
VIPs all come in, and there's a big speech by the Mayor of Leicester. And then they're all given free breakfast and free coffee. So you've got us vendors stood there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to anything to eat. They all go and...
They all full up?
They're all full up. They go into the main arena, dancing and whatnot. They only start coming back in at like maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
By about 4 o'clock on that first day, I looked at our till. We'd taken 180 quid.
Oh my God.
And I've got 4 staff members that I need to pay.
So it's not even enough to cover all the wages.
It's not even enough to it's not even enough to cover the electric.
Oh, Jesus.
So I said to my mate, my best mate was there with me. The other lads were, they were just cracking on doing whatever. And I said to my mate, I said, come on, let's go to the beer tent and have a few beers because I'm gonna cry.
The guy would have as well.
Second day was no better. We ended up taking 1,800 quid.
Oh my God.
Over 2 days.
Wow.
It cost me about 10 grand to be there.
That's how you was out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
Jesus Christ.
All the food went to waste. All the wraps were mouldy.
Wow.
And I had to go back the next day on the Monday, and there was a storm. Nobody to help me. These were all doing their own things. I've gone back. We've not packed up from the night before.
Yeah.
We just left it. I've got to pack the whole thing up. I just felt like if I could have just dug a hole and chucked it all in there and left it, I would have done.
Yeah.
We've not done anything with it since. I've gone and parked it up somewhere, and I've said, right, I need to just focus on something else for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was horrendous, wasn't it, Ben? It was absolutely horrendous. You know, I've got to, obviously, I've not only just had to pay these lads to be there for the 2 days, they've worked for the week before, coming in helping me cook and this and that and the other. So, you know,
So they got to be paid as simple as that.
It's got to be, and it absolutely ruined me.
Yeah.
But it was at the exact moment that the TikTok creativity beta program came live.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
and you've got money coming in from your videos.
Yeah.
One video, £1,000.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
So it
Started gaining your money back.
Yeah, well, yeah. But so people that do their vans and make a living out of it, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Because it is hard work, it's graft, it's real work.
It's real work, and you've got to have a prime location for it. It's like 2 girls that I grew up with, they got one on the B&Q in my local town. Now, it was a guy called Henry which owned that, and he had it there for 15 years. So he retired, so the girls worked for him, and one of the sisters bought it off him. And he's doing tremendous for him, but they work hard, and they took 2 weeks off Christmas because I go there every day, and they are sweating conkers because they're literally flat out, you know. But don't get me wrong, they're earning good money, but they are working for that money. Really hard.
Absolutely, it's
so I take
real
my hat
graft.
off to fair play.
But it was just, you know, it was got kids running past. There we go. It's because it was a horse box. It's having to hook it up to the car, tow it. The lights, you know, it was just everything, cleaning down and, you know, coming and getting the health and safety officer coming out and checking up and, you know, it was just... and it was a real learning curve, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think...
Sell it, maybe, you know.
Maybe sell it. But do you know what? There's part of me, that was my first proper little baby, that we came up with the idea, and I did the artwork, and I spent hours painting it and doing it, and it was our first venture into something, and part of me doesn't want to let it go. You know, I mean, what I'm saying we might do with it is stick it somewhere, like in a car park, get a little pizza oven in it, and just get a couple of people to just sell pizzas out of it, just eat and stuff like that. It's dead simple, it's dead easy. If it just if it breaks even,
I was going to say, if it owes you nothing out of the van because you've gone over all that loss now, unfortunately, it's a hard pill to swallow. Mine, I've been there myself, but yeah, get it in a car park or something, just earn a little bit of money off it. You know what I mean? Do something, like I said, a little bit different. Do some pizzas.
But what it was the catalyst for me it was the kick up the arse I needed from the LTA messaging me going, we've seen your TikTok, you know, you might have breached this or breached that. I thought, I have to do something else. That then led to that led to, you know, so things ultimately did work out the best. And, but at the time, and this is obviously something I'm guessing you've spoken about, you can be in a place in your life that you think there is no way out.
I've been there, yeah.
Financially, emotionally, career path. You are in a deep, dark hole. There's always a way out.
There's always a way out.
If you've got air in your lungs and a little bit of a will to get out of that pit, there is a way of doing it.
Yeah.
And The bad things that have happened to you, you'll look back at them in a year to 2 years' time and go, that actually helped me get to where I am.
Of course it does, because you learn from each and every stage of your life. And I always say that no bad situation lasts forever.
Nope.
Even though we think it's going to at the time, we go, oh, we're never going to get out of this and nothing's going to change. But there'd be many a time we've all been in bad situations and we're not in that particular situation now.
No.
You know, you might find yourself in a new situation. And I think what I've learned a lot over the years as well, because I used to look at things and stress over them, have sleepless nights, and then I come to the conclusion with a lot of things, can I change what's happening? And sometimes you say, no matter what I do, there's nothing I can do to change it. So I said, stop worrying about it then, because no amount of worrying in the world is going to change that situation. And then I used to ask myself, if I got the solution to the problem, even if I don't want to use that solution, do it. Yet again, don't worry. And I've lived by that for years, because I think, why worry about things that we can't control? And if it's something you can control, control it. And to me, it's that simple. And I've learned that. And a lot of people say, it's not that easy. And I said, well, I've been where you are. But I said, it's retraining the mind to think in a certain way. And there is things we can't control. And no matter worrying or upset or crying or staying up all night is going to change it for you. But what's guaranteed is it will dissolve in the end, one way or another. But yeah, you know, I've been in financial ruins. When the girls were younger, I split with the girl's mother. We had nothing. I remember going to the bank. I had my business at that time, and I took my eye off the ball because I was going for the split with the girl's mother, so that one doing well. And I remember going down to Asda's. I tell the same story because it's truthful. I had £3 in my pocket. I went to pay for the food with the card. Card got declined. So I was like, right, I started putting stuff back and whatever. Go to the bank, and they were like, there's no money here. I was like, what? And I just like broke down. I was like, right, what am I going to do? I can't pay my mortgage, you know. It's because I took my eye off the ball with everything, so I didn't have an income. So, and I did. At that moment in time, I was like, this is it. This is the end for me. And I remember that particular night, my kids were in bed, and I thought, shall I just pull the plug on myself? And then I thought, you've got two beautiful little girls in there which are relying on you. You are their sole carer. You have to do this for them. And as much as it was hard, I said to myself, I can't just roll over and accept this. And I didn't. I got up the next day and I thought, right, I can't bury my head in the sand. Rang the mortgage company. Right, here's the scenario, the situation I'm in. I can't afford to pay the mortgage, basically. Well, right, okay. And I think because I rung them up with the right attitude and I've been honest with them, they helped me. And they said, right, I can't remember it. I said, can you give us like £30 a month? I said, yeah, I could just about do it. And then I said to them, right, if you give me 6 months, I guarantee you that I'll be paying the normal payment again. So within that period, obviously, they helped me out. The mortgage was going into arrears, but I stood by what I said. Because they give me a leg up, I worked even harder then, because I thought, I got to do it for my girls. You know, I can't just roll over and accept, because I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose everything. So I kept on working towards that goal, and I did. Within 6 months, I was able to resume my normal mortgage payment, but then I was in arrears. And, you know, things were getting a little bit better, but even like a year down the road, things still weren't great. And friends of mine from Coventry, I always remember that I had this little green van. I hated the green van. It was horrible. You know, it looked like bloody someone had snotted out onto the ground. It was awful. It was a horrendous van. But he was a good little runner. So I bought another van for work, and Jason, my friend, he wanted to start, 'cause he's a plumber, and he wanted to start his own business. So I got this van, re-MOT'd, done it. I took it down to Coventry and said, well, have this van, start you up. Now, I went back a little bit then, because I'd done that when I was with the girl's mother. So roll it forward then a year and a bit, and I'd already paid for a holiday for me, him and his wife to go for his 40th to the Isle of Wight, and I couldn't afford it. I had no money. Like I said, I was barely making the mortgage payments again. And he said, no, you got to come. So I mustered some fuel to put into the car. So we went, and he knew I was struggling, and I was on my backside, and I was like, right, you know, I've managed to sort the mortgage people out, but I was going to Asda's at the end of every day.
Getting all the cheap stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I had like £15. That's all I could muster. Every week was £15. I was buying reduced bread, everything, put in the freezer. But I'd done it, you know. 2 kids, I had to do it. And I remember sitting there with a thing of cornflakes and just having a bowl of cornflakes every day just to make sure I could feed my kids. And I'd done that. I was losing weight, so it is a bonus. But it wasn't ideal. But you do what you got to do for your kids and you provide. So we went to the Isle of Wight. Kids were excited, and I was like, Jesus, how am I going to do this? Because I got no money. What am I going to do? And I was sat there, and all of a sudden he hands me this envelope. And I go, what's that? He said, open it. And he was like, about £700 in cash. I said, what are you doing? And I feel choked up now. And he said, I sold the van. I said, why? He said, because I can't see you struggle no more. I said, are you serious? He went, yeah. And that gave me such a starting point again, and another spring in my step to realize that someone is giving me this, being kind to me. I've done a kind gesture for them, but they give up on their dream, because he still had a job, so he was in the midst of going out on his own, just to help me back out and put me in a better position. And I took that £700, I come home, I put some of it towards certain other bills that I was lacking behind, and I kept about £300-400 of it, and I worked out it. Do you know what? That can feed us for the next like 2 or 3 months. But that gave me more determination and to say, do you know what? I got to pick myself back up, because things were a shower of crap. Because I took my eye off the ball, my business was going down the pan. We hit
COVID.
Recession.
Yep. 2008.
2008, yeah. So things from that point onwards, then it was difficult. And I think it was about 2009, because things were really bad, and I'd lost the staff that I had. The ones that I did have left were running my business ragged. One in particular was just basically taking money, doing whatever she wanted. So I remember like sitting there, my parents come into the office and they were trying to help me because they knew my head weren't right. And I always remember my father and mother sat there, and my father's going, you got to get yourself sorted. My father's old school. He was like, you got to snap out of this. You got to get yourself sorted. And I'm like, you don't understand, Dad. And I remember just looking at them, and I started crying and welling up, and they just looked at me, put their head down. I don't think they could deal with it at the time. So I went away from there. I still progressed, still kept on like going to work bits and bobs, and I thought, I've got to sort myself out. And then finally I woke up one day and I thought, I got to sort this out. My business is going. I'm gonna lose everything. So I managed to start paying my mortgage, and now I'm gonna go backwards again. I got to get my act together. So I went to work, found out what was going on. I sacked that woman on the spot. Biggest mistake I'd done at that time, because I didn't do it in the right way. She took me to industrial tribunal, but in 6 months, bang, she gets awarded £3,000. So I'm there now going, oh my God, how am I going to pay this £3,000? And yet again, I got given another lifeline. Guardian angels, have called them. And a woman at work for me, Diane, she was appointed supervisor. Her husband represented me in the tribunal. And I learned a lot from that day, because I didn't have all the paperwork in order. If I'd done things in the correct way, then she wouldn't have won. But I didn't, so that was it. And he turned around and said, we're going to give you a lifeline. I'm going to loan you the money. And he said, I want you to be open with me. I want to look at your accounts, and I'm going to work out what you can give me back every month. And I agreed to that. But yet again, he gave me that lifeline. And I'll always be grateful to those two sets of people that enabled me then to become in the position I am now. Because I thought, right, there's two kind people here that have basically said to me, we're going to help you out, so now you've got to make things work. So with the combination of that, and looking at my girls every day, I thought, nah, I got to do this. And then I started pushing forward. And then that's when things started clicking with me, and you're thinking, right, I got to start changing the way I am. I got to start changing a lot of things within my life. And I got to change my mindset, especially towards business, because it's not good sitting here feeling sorry for myself, because nothing's happening. Nothing's going to evolve. And I started evolving with it. And when I started getting my drive back, that was it then. I started feeling more positive with it. I was more comfortable with it. Because what I found was, when I split with the girls, because of going through the divorce and going through various things, when your head's all over the place, you can't focus on anything in particular. You can't focus on rhyme nor reason. You can't. If someone says to you, you need to focus on your business, that's going to bring you income, you go, I can't. You lose yourself in the world. And I knew I had to find myself back to reality. And I did. But it wasn't easy. It was a hard slog. And it's still times now I find it hard. But I'm in a lot better position than I ever was, you know?
What was the first thing that you noticed was like that first step out of that pit? What did you do? Was it physical activity? Was it reading, journaling?
Physical activity, because I've always gone to the gym and I've loved the gym. But also equally, when I was going through stuff, I stopped going as much.
Yep.
And then I figured out to myself, right, well, when I go to the gym, because there's not one person, and they lie and they say, when they go to the gym and they come out of the gym and they go, oh, I hated training and I didn't like that. I don't feel great at all. Everybody goes to the gym. They generally walk out of that gym.
Feel amazing.
They feel amazing. Yeah,
yep.
It gives you that boost.
The endorphins, yeah, everything, yeah.
It makes you feel happy. Even if it's only for 10 minutes, you feel great. So I thought, I got to go back to what was making me feel happy. And the only way I'm going to reset my mind is going to do something which is going to help reset that. So I started focusing more on the gym. And the more I was training, the more I was enjoying it again, the more in my head, with all the fog it was starting to clear. And I started putting things in order. And then I said to myself, and this is why I say to a lot of people writing things down, I thought, if I write things down, then all the things I need to do, and then put them into a priority order, what's the most important to me at this current time, and then just focus on that one, and then tick it off, I'm going to start working towards the life that I want again. And that's exactly what I started doing. But I also, as well, on the full journey and coming to where I am now, I started realizing we got to push ourselves into an uncomfortable zone, as well, as I call it. And it's something that I've been talking to people a lot in the background when I do it on TikTok. I obviously, if we put a circle on a piece of paper and put all the things in it that you currently got in your life, which is your comfortable zone, house, car, job, whatever, put all the things on the outside, which is all the uncomfortable zone area, things that we want and long a desire for, pick one thing and go and work towards it. Even though it makes you feel uncomfortable, by the time you get to a position where you've worked on that and you've got it, it becomes into your circle. So your comfortable position just expands and expands and expands. And that's what I live with now. I always go for what I want, even if I'm scared of it, even if I'm nervous of it. If I know I want something and I know it's going to benefit me, whether that be financially, physically, whatever, I'll go and get it.
It's really interesting, but what you just said, because I was listening to the radio on the way over. I was going over to do some tennis coaching earlier, and Radio 5 Live was on, and they were talking about it's January and people wanting to make changes in this type of thing, and this guy was on, this expert, and it made me laugh because I thought, I've been doing that for 2 years. Do you know what I mean? It's all coming to the forefront now. But what this guy was saying was, there is something in your life, and for you it was going to the gym more.
Yes.
For some people
100%.
it might be going to the gym. For some people it might be meditating. But there's that one kind of catalyst. And what this guy was saying was, every morning on a piece of paper, write down, today I have to, and that thing.
Yes.
Whether it might be read a chapter of the personal development book or whatever it is. And that has to be your priority in the day. Not meaning that your workload isn't a priority or picking the kids up from school isn't a priority. But from that one positive act, that's almost then a domino rally effect.
Yeah, of course.
And the next positive thing. So if for somebody that might be struggling with, I don't know, their weight, they want to lose some weight, a diet, whatever it might be, having that healthy breakfast, the fruit and the granola, or whatever it might be that catalyst that then leads into having a slightly healthier lunch.
Of course it does.
So then going for that walk in the afternoon, whereas that shitty breakfast, that pan au chocolat and the maca yaki,
it leads to more shitty stuff.
It leads to more shitty things. And I thought that's really, really, really quite a good way of doing it, because at the minute it's all about journaling and things like that. And I do believe in journaling. I think it's a fantastic method of zooming out from your life and looking at it as if you were somebody else. And I say to somebody asked me this the other day, a question. I went for a walk with a friend, and this person said to me, what's the biggest negative aspect about you? And I think my biggest negative aspect is I give really, really good advice.
I think I know what you're going to say next. Go on.
But I don't give it to myself.
And you need to take it yourself.
Yep.
Practice as you preach, as they say, isn't it?
But sometimes, if I've got an issue, so let's say that you came to me and you're like, Nick, I've got this problem.
Yeah.
I'd sit there and I'd give you a load of advice. So sometimes when I've got a problem, I sit there and I say, what would I tell myself? What would I be telling myself? So
I do that.
And it's amazing how you go, I'm feeling a bit down, feeling a bit depressed, feeling a bit this. Okay, you've drank too much this week. You haven't been to the gym. So if somebody came and said to me, I've been feeling a bit down. How much exercise have you done this week? Oh, none. What have you been eating this week? Takeaways. How much have you had to drink? Oh, a couple of pints a night. Okay, right. Let's start with them. Let's get them in order. Yeah. And then come back to me next week and see how you're feeling.
Exactly. One or two things at a time, not many.
But yeah, sometimes I'm feeling a bit shit and a bit down.
Yeah.
But I don't go through that process.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? And it's mad, isn't it, really?
And I've done exactly the same thing, where I've given, over the years, I've given loads of advice out to people, and then I haven't taken it back myself. So now I've learned, well, if you're going to put it out there, to everybody, take your own advice. Because if you're not, what's the point? Because you're going to help other people, but what about helping yourself? So I've learned to take my own advice, and that's what I say about being uncomfortable now. Because before, I would say to people, you know, step out of your comfort zone to go into an uncomfortable situation. But years ago, I wasn't doing that. I was telling people to do it, but then I was too scared to do it. And
Which is why you're here today.
Exactly.
Because you're out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And then I learned, as soon as I'd done it, I thought, oh, it's not that bad, actually. I'm happy now. So, and I keep on doing that. Now, with everything in life, I put myself in those positions that I know are going to be better for me.
I often ask people, I say, can you tell me a situation or an instance when something that you were scared about doing was actually as scary as you thought it was going to be when you did it? And I've never had anybody say to me, I remember this time.
I know.
Yeah?
Because it's not scary.
You know when the kids don't want to jump into the swimming pool, don't want to learn to dive because they're scared?
Yeah.
You know the first time they do it, you go, how was that? They go, I want to do it again.
They do, yeah.
I want to do it again.
Yeah, because the fear is gone. The
fear's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone. And it's excitement then.
Exactly. Nothing's ever as bad as you think it's
No,
going
of
to be.
course it's not.
There's an old, what do you call it when you've got a word and you put a different word for each letter? An anagram, is it?
Something like that,
Something like that. So my anagram that I like is fear. False expectations appearing real.
That's good. I like that.
Which it always is.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've missed that payment. I don't want to phone the credit card company up because they're going to say this, that, and the other. You pick the phone up, like you've just said, more than helpful. You put the phone down and you're like, I'm so fucking relieved I did that.
Yeah.
But yet, that little nagging devil on your shoulder that's going, avoid it. Well, bury your head in the sand, bury your head in the sand.
And that's a proven point, because it was someone who's working for me. She's not working for me no more. And she was going through some financial stuff, and she was on the phone in the office, and she was like ripping into him, like effing the blind on the phone. I said, you're getting nowhere. And they wouldn't give her what she wanted. So I said, what are you going to do now? You're going to ring back. You're going to say, I got my boss. I won't give you permission to speak to him. I spoke to him. And everything that she wanted him to do then, because I spoke to him, they'd done it. And she goes, well, how come it works for you? Because I said, I'm not effing a blind on the phone. I'm speaking to him like another human being, and I'm trying to tell him your situation. Now they're understanding. But with you ranting and raving, all they want to do is go, I've had enough of this. Bang.
Yep.
That's all they want to do. They want to get off the phone to you.
Yep.
So it's a proven point. People will help.
They will. They will. I think there are more people that are willing to help than there are people trying to do you over.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. It's like we said on TikTok earlier on with all the hate. There's more people which are nice. And like, I'm sure you do. I get so many nice messages weekly, daily, right, where people are saying, oh, I think you're a lovely person. You've helped me in this area, that area, just by watching your videos, and it's helping me along than I do with the negative responses. However, I got to be honest, I am one of those ones, when I get the negative response, they don't bother me. They don't hinder me whatsoever. But what I do is I have fun with them sometimes by responding. But most times I've learned not to respond. So all it does, it keeps it going a little bit longer than what it needs to.
Why do you think that's part of the human condition?
For the response, or?
Yeah. What? I don't think there's a human being out there that wouldn't say, I can be given 10 compliments and one negative response, and it's the one negativity that sticks with me all week.
Because I think deep down, even though what I've just said, no, it doesn't bother me, it clearly does to a degree, because if it didn't, I wouldn't feel, even though I have fun with it, I wouldn't feel the need to really give a response.
But I feel that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Ben feels that, and the next TikToker and the next YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I wonder why, because it seems as though that's something that's within us.
It is.
And I always try and break these things down into what's the evolutionary need for that. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't know if it was Einstein, but it was certainly someone along those lines. And the story goes, Einstein or whoever it was walks into a classroom and starts writing on a board, and he puts 1 times 8 is 7.
Yeah.
2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8, all the way down to 10 times 8. And every single one of them are right except for the first one. And he turns around to the class and they're all laughing at him.
Yeah.
I said, I thought you were supposed to be a genius. You got it wrong. And he said, I'm showing you that you can get 9 things right and 1 thing wrong, and that's what everybody picks up on.
Yeah, they do. All the time. You know, and it's right. Like, even when I put posts up before, and you'll write a caption, and sometimes you put it and you go, oh my God, you can't alter it, can you? And then it goes live and you're like, I spelt that wrong. Someone will instantly pick it up. It happened to me yesterday, and they can't wait. They waiting in the distance going, he's going to do something wrong here. He's going to do something wrong here. He's going to trip up, and then they pounce on it, don't they? It's,
going back to my early days of TikTok, trial and error, I figured that out early on. And I purposely made blundering mistakes
Did I?
because I knew it was going to give me more engagement.
Yeah.
So if I was talking about something, there was one where I was talking about something along the lines of, I was having a conversation with a youngster, 18, 19, 20, and they were saying something along the lines of, why do you keep your receipts for everything, Nick? And I said, well, because I'm self-employed, the petrol that I've had to use to drive the car to get to here, I don't pay tax on, and the mobile phone. And it was like, they couldn't get their head around it. And I said, well, look, if you work for yourself, you can deduct all of these things from how much money you earn at the end of the year, and you don't then need to pay as much tax on it. And it was like an epiphany to them. They're like, so if I work for Sainsbury's and earn £2,000, I can't claim any petrol back for anything that I'm doing. I don't claim any clothes back, nothing. So I made a TikTok about it. And I said something along the lines of, if you're lucky enough to have a job that pays £100,000 a year, your take-home pay after tax, national insurance and whatnot will be X. And it works out at like, I don't know, 64.5. How much is it, Ben? Take-home pay on £100,000 job a year. And then I said, if you earn that same amount of money working as self-employed, you take away your whatever, this, and I'd purposely made a blunder in the whatever it was. And I knew it was going to get traction, and it did.
Yeah.
Got 1 million views. Most of the people going, so what is it? What are we talking? So you're paying £27,432 tax. £6,000 take home pay 65,000.
65,600.
So I'd said something like, your take home pay after you deduct the percentages or whatever it was is 65,600 or something like that. And then I says, and that means you've paid nearly £58,000 or £60,000 in tax. Yeah, which it's not.
No. I see what you mean. Yeah. I get it. Oh, yeah.
Because I knew. So quite often in a lot of my early ones, I'll always have put a spelling mistake, or I'll always say something that's slightly wrong in one sense. I'm.
It engages people, I suppose.
It does. It does, because negativity is what media is all about, isn't it? Let's face it.
It is, because I've seen it with a lot of people online. Sometimes, like some people, they purposely create drama on it, right? And I know why they're doing it, because when I look at their views, it's through the roof. They'll have like 1 million views on something they created a drama over for 3 minutes, and you're like, wow. And sometimes I can do a video, it can go viral. I can do a video, it can get 2,000 views. I can do a video and get 80 views, So, and when they got drama on there, people buy into it.
Of course they do.
And it's sad, but it's true. It's reality, isn't it? And they do. They love the drama.
Love an argument. Love to put their opinion. If ever I need a few views, I'll always come and make a video about the flat Earth. Yeah. Because I know you just get people in the comments battling and warring with each other. Yeah. And one comment somebody's put's got like 100 comment responding to it. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you think it is or not. People just there are certain subjects that are sort of inflammatory and will create that. But yeah, it's just.
It is silly things as well. Like Christmas time, I done it with a video and it got stupid amounts of view. When I said, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It's a standing thing for years, right? And all of a sudden, bang, loads of engagement.
There you go.
A silly thing, but then you get loads of people having
a bit of banter. The question is, Steve, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I think so, yeah. Because it's got Christmas tree and there's Christmas things going on.
Is Gremlins a Christmas movie? Because I think it is.
Yeah, I do, yeah. 100% Gremlins.
Have you seen Violent Night?
No, I don't think I have. No, I don't know. I haven't, actually.
You have to see.
Is it on Netflix or something?
I don't know what it's on now. It came out last year. Yeah. It's got the policeman from Stranger Things in it, if you ever saw that.
Oh, I got glued to that.
Hopper was his name?
Yes.
The guy with the moustache?
Yeah.
So he's Santa.
Yeah.
Here he is. So he's Santa. He's on his last Christmas.
Is it a new film then, or?
It came out last year.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Last Christmas, nobody believes in Santa anymore. It's modern day. All the kids don't give a damn. And it's his last night. And he goes to this little girl's house. These parents are absolute multimillionaires, billionaires. Here it is. And it just so happens that on Christmas Eve, these people have planned to rob the house. And they've taken the little girl hostage. And Santa turns up.
Rescues of the...
And he starts kicking ass.
Really?
It is violent
I'm
night.
going to have to watch that now.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And he slaughters these guys.
Oh, I'm going to look
So
for
it's
that.
a little bit like Die Hard in the
Yeah.
sense that you've got this one-man band.
Yeah.
And it is just incredible.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch
One
that.
of the best. So it's Violent Night. It's got to be on something now, hasn't it?
It'd probably be on Netflix.
But he's
I would have thought
so the story behind it, I think, is he's an old sort of Nordic Viking type guy, and he's got this axe that he's got a name to,
Yeah.
and it's just here we go. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to watch that.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it, what certain people think is a Christmas movie. How was your Christmas this year? I felt the least Christmassy I've ever been.
A lot of people say I've said the same thing, and a lot of things for me. I think when my girls were younger,
Yes.
it was different.
Yeah.
And even though I was still single when they were younger, I found it easier because I was all busy with them. But I find Christmas harder now, being lonely, and my girls are older. They're 17 and 22, you know. But Christmas in general, it just, the spirit's not there. Like, Christmas just gone, it felt least like Christmas than ever. It just felt like another day. You know, it's like Boxing Day. It just felt like a Sunday to me. It was just weird.
My
The whole
eldest
thing
daughter
on
worked, so she works in a local pub restaurant type thing, and she was like, "Dad, I'm going to get paid double time. The tips will be amazing." She said, "And let's face it, all we're going to do is sit around after we've opened our presents
and then fall asleep.
and then fall asleep." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you do it. You go
Yeah.
for it." But yeah, it felt not very. I don't think the weather helped. It wasn't cold, was it? It was just wet and windy.
It was, and I went to New York with my friend in November,
Amazing.
and it was a gift to him. He's out of everyone I cut out of my life. I grew up with him since he was like 7, 8 years old. His name is David, and he's such a fantastic human being. And I wanted to do something nice for him because me and the girls went to New York in February, and I thought, right, I've got to start doing things for myself. as
You're
well
cleaning
outside the
some
girls.
fucking sofas now, ain't you, Steve?
I know.
Hey, he's not buying the yellow ticket as the stuff anymore, is he? Good man.
So I wanted to do something nice for him. So before I went, I rang him. I said, "Oh, you know, I'll take you." Like, and it was a bit of a joke. And he said, "You see this?" I went, "Yes." He put the phone down. You remember? He said, "You see this?" I went, "Yeah." So he said, "I had a word with Lisa, his wife," and she was like, "You can go if you want." So I spoke to Lisa, and Lisa said, "Yeah, you can go."
I love that, how he had to ask his wife.
I know. Oh, she wears the trousers.
Let me just see. Yes, I can go.
Yeah, but no, they have got a good relationship in all fairness. So she said, "Yeah, it's fine." So I booked it in and paid for it. So we went then in November. And when we went out there, it was great because they'd already put the Rockefeller tree up. And Christmas out there feels like Christmas. Right? The
Yes.
Americans, right, it's like go big or go home and all
And
that.
Halloween feels like
Oh,
Halloween. Yeah.
It was awesome. So Christmas was great. But when we was there, we went to Hell's Kitchen. And we found this because the first night we was trying to find a bar.
What is that? Is that just a suburb?
Yeah, it's just like a town in effect, you know.
It sounds
Yeah, but it's
pretty rough.
It's not
No.
actually. No, it's not.
Weird, isn't
it's not.
it?
It's not. It's actually all right. And we were surprised at that. So we thought we'd got to find a bar to have something to drink. So we found a bar. It's called Break Bar. Didn't think nothing. Sits down, sits by the bar. Pretty cool. You're in America. You're sitting by the bar, serving you. The bar attendant was from like Ireland. He was good as gold. And all of a sudden we could hear all this smashing going on. I said to the bartender, I said, "Well, what's going on?" He said, "It's called the Break Bar." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Right, just down by this, see that window?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "You go through the little door to the side." He said, "All the pints you drink now, you keep them, I'll wash them, and then you can take them all with you at the end of the night and go and get some aggression and just smash your glasses up against the wall." I was like, "This is friggin' awesome." So me and David went in there. If you look for the TikTok, you'll find this. He's videoing now. Everyone was saying like how much I was into it because like, he was just throwing them, smashing. No, not me. They were flying everywhere. I was like,
Find it
"This
for
is
us.
awesome."
Break bar, brick bar.
Break Bar, I think it's called.
Break.
Break Bar, yeah.
Break.
Break Bar, New York. Hell's Kitchen, New York, yeah. Oh, it's
It must
awesome.
cost them a fortune in new glasses.
That's what I thought. But the guy said, "Oh, they get them free from the brewery." But I was like, right, okay, but it's costing the brewery all right.
Somebody's
Yeah.
The break bar. What's it say at the top? Where you smash your glass after drinks at the bar.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What?
They got a wall in front of you. So you're probably about 10 feet away from the wall that you're throwing against,
Yeah.
which is good. The thing is, right, they say to you, when you got to do a disclaimer, which is great. Fine, do a disclaimer, so if you get any injuries. And the guy said, "Oh, when you go out there, there's safety glasses. Once you've had a few drinks, you're like,
We don't
don't
want the
need
safety
that. Nah,
glasses.
just
no.
throw 'em." So, but yeah, it's such a
So this
fantastic
is the
experience.
break bar in Hell's Kitchen, New York.
Yeah.
I'm taking my daughter to New York in February, and we are going to
Go
visit the
there.
break bar.
Honestly, it's awesome.
So he's got a shot glass and
Yeah.
a normal glass. Wow.
Well, I asked the guy, I said, why do you wash all the glass? I didn't think. He said, because when we clean them up, we don't want it to be sticky. And
Yes.
then they send them off.
And
to get them.
smells and all.
That's
Yeah,
it,
of course.
yeah.
No, it's a good idea.
So, but yeah, it was. We found ourselves drinking more so we could have more glasses.
Ben,
Brilliant.
we've got a business idea. We're getting a break bar
Break
in
bar,
Loughborough.
yeah.
Come on. I have seen... Have you ever seen those rooms where you go in with like a baseball bat and you just smash the fuck out
I've always
of
wanted to
stuff?
do that. I've always wanted to do that.
Electrical appliances and
That's
stuff like
it,
that.
yeah, get all the aggression out.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why I love the break bar, because for me, I had a lot of aggression, which I've had from years ago, and it was like a way of letting it out. I actually nominated each glass to a situation in my life. I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah.
But it was good, and it felt exhilarating just to smash these glasses and like let go of the past in sort of ways. Like, oh, it's brilliant.
Wow.
Brilliant. Yeah,
and
take her.
how was the rest of New York, that trip? Just amazing.
Yeah, have you ever been before?
Never been.
Oh, you're going to love it. You're
Never
going to love
been.
it. All I'll tell you is don't want to dampen it, right? Because you're going to do anything everyone does. Once you've been up the top of one building, you've been up them all.
Yes.
Right? Now, it's better to go up at night and never go by daytime.
Yep.
I have done both because
Yep.
I've been up 3 times. And the best place to go is one called The Edge, right?
I've heard of this. People have told me about
Yeah.
this one.
The only thing is,
Glass floor or something.
that's it, right? Now, I'm not scared of heights, but David is. So he was like, I'm not going to the edge, not going to the edge. So anyway, it goes up top, and they say they got a glass floor, and I didn't see it again. So I'm doing a TikTok video, walking around, and all of a sudden, as I'm looking at the camera, I'm walking on this glass floor, and I was like, shit. So I quickly got off that one.
So is this it? That's it. There is
oh, what an experience. But whatever building you go up, whether you've got the Rockefeller, whether you've got that, you have a good view in New York. But that is the best one to go up at night time.
it. Wow.
And if you haven't...
And it's sort of outdoor. So it is
It
outdoor. It's outdoors.
It is, yeah. It's all outdoors.
You're not jumping off, but there's...
That's it, and there's the
perspex-
glass bit, look for there.
Wow.
And even though I was scared of heights, it was quite scary when you're
Yes.
looking down. You're like, oh my
Because
God.
it's so high, isn't it?
Oh,
It's so high.
everything on the ground looks like ants.
I was out in London on New Year's Eve with some friends, and we were in this place called Shoreditch House, and it overlooked East London, so the Gherkin and whatnot. And it's noticeable how small the skyscrapers are in London. And I'm sure I watched a documentary once saying that the reason that they're not so high is because either the bedrock is so far down or it's not as stable as it is in other places,
Yeah.
which made it amazing for undergrounds,
Yeah.
but they can't build too high.
Yeah.
But some of these are absolute monsters, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they're huge.
Absolute
And the thing
monsters.
is, what I've been told is by the Americans, when they build all these buildings, they build them in such a way, 'cause like with the Twin Towers, so when they come down, they do literally just come down,
Pancake
don't they?
down.
Yeah, it's the way they designed. But yeah, it is fascinating. But get the city pass as well. That's what we got. We got the city pass. You pay one price, and over whether you want 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then you see as much as you want. We was doing about 35,000 steps a day in the end because we was just like, we got to get our money's worth now. And we did.
So what does that pass do? It just allows you entrance to certain places?
Yeah, everywhere. So like when you go to places like The Edge or Madame Tussauds,
Yep.
it's like about, don't quote me, it's about 400 attractions on you
Yep.
can see. Statue of Liberty. It's all
Yep.
because if you do it individually, we worked it out. If we had done it individually, you would have worked out about £1,400.
Yep.
Where I paid for the two of us, I think it was about £380, £400.
Oh, wow. So
And we done loads.
Yeah.
We
And
rinsed
you
it.
will have done more
Yeah.
because you feel like you've got to, like you said.
You do, yeah. It's like when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, you know, you're not leaving until you feel sick. It's one of those scenarios. So you just use it, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You get the app on your phone, so you can book things the night before as well. When you go, scan it and go in. The only thing is when you go up into these buildings, and you've got to queue a long time. You know, there's a lot of people there, a lot of tourists. But it's fantastic, honestly. Your daughter will love it.
Yeah.
It's an
I'm looking
amazing
forward to
experience.
it. Wow.
Times Square will blow your mind. The first time I
Well,
went
the
there-
hotel is 1,000 meters from Times Square,
Oh,
so we're
you're
right,
right,
bang
yeah.
central. Is that
Yeah.
Manhattan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've not done New York. I've done Florida. I've been lucky. I've been all over the place. I don't know if I'd fancy Australia or anywhere like that. It's a bit too far.
I'm enjoying doing America at this moment in time. Like I've been to Vegas, but I'm going with the girls now in September.
Yep.
because they've never been. I want to experience that with them. If you haven't been to Vegas, that is one to put on your list. It's
Is it?
That's quite special because all the hotels, as you probably know, they're all themed, aren't they? So they've got circus. It's all, you walk in, it's literally like a circus. You go in the Paris hotel, it's literally like Paris, and so on, so on, so on. So we're going to go into the Planet Hollywood this time. So that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, everybody that goes, they love it, and it's going to be a completely different experience with your girls.
Oh yeah,
compared to going out with the lads, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing now. It's
probably not going to be any cheaper.
Oh no, it's America's expensive anyways. It's wherever you go, you just got to zone out to it and go. I'm here to have a good time and to forget about it. But it's good now to do this these places with the girls as adults. Because I've done so much for them when they were younger, but we went to like Park Resort or Park Dean, as it's called now, all the stuff around here. Now they're older, we can go abroad, we can go wherever, and they can appreciate it and enjoy it, and I love it. But I did enjoy going with Dave. It was the first time we done a boys thing, and me and him, we're going to go to Philadelphia this year, me and him as well.
Wow.
So I'm looking to that. I got to run up the Rocky steps. I've got to do it.
Got to do it?
Yeah.
Have you watched Rocky recently?
Not in the last few months, no.
It is shit.
Yeah, go on.
I tried putting it on for my girl, saying, "Look, this is one of the greatest movies you're ever going to watch. It's so good. It's iconic."
Yeah.
It's not what I remembered.
No.
It's terrible acting.
What's your favourite though?
My favourite film?
Oh no, in the Rocky. If you was to put a favourite on it.
I like Ivan Drago.
Yeah,
what number was that one? 4?
Number 4. Yeah.
Mr. T was in one, wasn't
Mr. T was in
he 3?
Number 3.
3.
The famous line I was in My Mother Hits Harder than That. That was
Yes.
brilliant. That was. But you are right. And if you go back to the very first one, the acting is shocking.
It's
It is
rubbish.
shocking.
And the sound's terrible. It's muffled sound. You can't
Yeah.
hear it. And I'm watching this with the guys, and I've built this, because
Yeah.
I think it was through just round about the COVID time. We went through these sort of movie nights where we'd watch that many movies that I says, right, let me show you some of the movies I've grown up with.
Yeah.
So we watched Back to the Future, and we watched The Breakfast Club, and they were loving all
the
of these
classics,
things. And all of those type films. What else did we watch? E.T. and things like that. And we put Rocky on, and it was just not what I was expecting. It was awful.
Do you know what? Like when I was Sylvester Stallone, documentary, I think it was on Netflix, and he was saying that when they done actually done all the script for it, and he sold it to a producer, didn't he? But he wanted to act in it.
Yes.
But it was done on a budget, wasn't it?
Yes.
So they had like something like the bellman. I think it was his father or something like that, and he was getting like people off the streets. And
I think you can tell.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch it, I think
definitely.
you can tell.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, when you go and watch it, it's a little bit like with video games. You see these kids who put a video game on now, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not rubbish.
No.
You go and play a rubbish video game, or you go and watch a rubbish film.
Yeah.
Like these films that have cost $185 million, the effects, they're not rubbish.
No.
Rubbish was,
Yeah.
we've seen rubbish.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got a theory about why kids are soft now.
Go on.
And I think it was the invention of save points on video games.
Yeah.
Because when you and I were kids,
Yeah.
and you're playing Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
and you get
It's
all
a
the way
lot.
to the last boss,
Yeah.
and you die,
Yeah.
you go back Act 1.
Yes, you do,
Scene
yeah.
1.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't go to the checkpoint before the boss
That's
with
right.
all your hearts and health
Yeah.
and go and fight it again and keep doing that. I reckon, because I can remember,
Yeah.
you would be so frustrated. You want to smash the pad up.
That's it,
you
yeah.
never want to play the game again.
Yeah.
You take yourself away. You regroup. You go to sleep. You come back the next day, ready to go again.
Yeah.
That died.
Yeah.
The moment there was a little save point.
Yeah.
Because that's my theory.
Do they ever get to complete the game? Because when we used to have games, you could complete the game start to finish. But now, because like my daughter, she got the PlayStation, whatever it is, and she downloads, because the first time she had it, and I was like, right, where's the disc? And she goes, what disc, Dad?
Just
I said,
download them.
Yeah, just download. What?
Yeah.
But do they ever complete the game? Does it finish? Because they're on like with a load of people at one time, aren't they?
Do they?
Do you finish your game?
Most games ever finished now.
I think
It keeps on going.
I think most games have an element of a one-player
Yeah.
mission-based game that would have a conclusion, but most of them just play it to be online.
Yeah.
They're just online with their friends,
Yeah.
fighting and shooting,
Yeah.
playing football matches.
Yeah.
But that's become their social life.
It has. That's
You
their
know.
reality now.
That is their reality.
And it's sad, really.
Well, I don't know if it is sad. I think it's just evolution. It's just an
Yeah.
evolution of things. You know, you don't want your girls hanging around down the
Oh,
local
no, of course
co-op
not.
getting pissed up.
No,
That's
no.
what we would have done.
Oh, yeah.
All of our mates were down there. You had
Yeah,
but that was your
yeah.
social life then. Now
course it
all
was.
of a sudden they go on and they're online and they're building things together and they're chatting
Yeah.
and arguing and talking about girls and talking about boys. And
I know.
they're doing that now
Yeah.
in the comfort of their own home. But I don't know. I just think it's an evolution. You know, our parents would have said, "Don't watch too much TV.
No,
You'll get
it's
square
true.
eyes,"
Yeah.
and that didn't happen. And I think
know. It's the way it's going anyway. We,
Yeah.
we got no control over it. We
Yeah.
can't stop it. And ourselves, we got to run with it. And we are running with it. You know, we're using social media for our own gains as well. And that's what a lot of people are doing now. And how many youngsters out there now which are on YouTube or on TikTok, and they're famous in their own right, don't they now? And they're earning. There's one that my daughters follow, and I watch him and go, is it Mr. Beast?
yes.
Yeah, but he does a lot of good as well.
I mean, the guy's unbelievable.
Yeah,
the
he-
amount
he-
of money he spends.
Yeah, and he gives millions away to people.
Millions.
He puts them into like a shopping mall and says like every day he'll come in and offer them 10 grand to leave, and they're like, no, it's just crazy. But in a good way, he does so much good in the world. I
Yeah,
think, you know.
yeah.
So it's people like him I support. I think they're brilliant.
100%.
You know?
100%. But then you can. There's the dark side to things, and I don't like these
Yeah.
people that go on and beg and
No, I
and
disagree
stuff
with that.
like that. you know.
That's one thing I've always said with TikTok. I'm happy enough. You know, I put a lot of effort into it and get paid along the way now. I'm happy enough for that to be received because I put a lot of hard work into it. But I would never sit on a live begging people for gifts or begging people for money when they do all these battles. I've never understood it.
I've never done a battle.
No, I
don't
haven't.
I
I don't even know how
you
it
do
works.
it.
No,
I don't.
me, I don't. It's bizarre. You just see them sitting there and they got red and blue, haven't they? And all of a sudden they just.
But it's
like,
not
one
even
wins.
as though, you know, I've looked at a couple and it's not as though they're even having sort of a debate.
No, they're not. People are just like gifting them, I think,
Just-
aren't they?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
get what. Do you get it? Do you understand what they are? Battles on TikTok.
Each gift's obviously a bit of money, and then it's just a way of turning into a game.
Wow.
So is TikToker A, are all of their people notified that they're on there watching, and TikToker B, all of theirs are, and so you don't specifically do anything to win.
And that's the thing, innit? If you're doing something like I'm doing, you're doing, or a lot of other creators out there which are actually putting something useful out into the world, something that people want to listen to, or a bit of knowledge or whatever, then great, you're getting paid for it. You're doing something. But when they just sat there, I disagree with it. It is wrong, but they're still earning thousands off it.
Look,
Some of them, well, another way to look at this is taking them off the dole, isn't it?
Or is it?
Well, they got to declare it,
Or
don't
is
they?
it?
Well, yeah, unless they don't declare. I don't know.
I don't know. We were talking earlier on a little bit, and you said you've had 2 breakdowns.
Yeah.
When was the first one?
I think the first one was pretty much when I left the girl's mother, so
Yeah.
that was early, but it was about a year, maybe a little bit, about a year and a half after, because I had so much going on trying to work through things. It came after that, I think, after the event. And same thing again, I was doing silly stuff, and I always remember driving my van the one day, and I guess to a point, and I start shaking, and I pulls over, and I starts crying, and I'm like, what the friggin' hell's going on here? It rings my father's like, well, you need to get home. I couldn't drive my van. I couldn't do nothing. And my head just totally went. And at that point, I went home, I got myself home, and I went into bed, put the duvet over my head, and I stayed there. I stayed there for hours and hours and hours. And I got up the next day, and I still felt the same, but I still went back to work. And that's why I was saying I functioned, but I wasn't right. But I wasn't functioning to even 40%. But I knew that I had to keep on going. But yeah, so I had that, and then I had the second one then come in, and it wasn't as bad the second time because I already knew how to deal with it from the first time. But it was still there, and that came from coming out of a narcissistic relationship, because when I was bringing the girls up for the first just over 8 years, it was just me and them. And I kept it that way. And people say, why though? I said, because I wanted to focus on them. They were young. I wanted to focus on them. I weren't interested in dating or women. I wanted to show them that I'm going to be that father that is going to put them first. So I did. I stayed single. And then after those 8 years, they were a little bit older. I thought, I put myself out there. So I did. And then I met this woman, and I thought, oh, she's marvelous. She's going to be my soulmate, yada, yada, yada. But she gave me a false representation of herself at the beginning, because I say any bad person, anyone who displays bad traits, when you go into a relationship, something will happen within 3 months. And it did with me, but I ignored it because I didn't realize at the time. So I was in a relationship with her for about a year and a half, 2 years, and she totally messed my head up. totally messed my head up on another level, because the things she was doing, the things she was saying, you know, silly things, like she'd stay over my house every so often, I'd stay over hers. And it was always a drama. She'd always kick off about something. In the weekday when she went with me, she seemed to be all right, because she'd only got me by phone. When she had me in her presence, it was different. And the one day, I lived right by Asda's, so it's like literally 2-minute walk. And we goes down there and we get some stuff. I was going to make a bolognese and I forgot the tomato puree. So we get halfway back up and I said, well, forgot the tomato puree, I'll go back down. And she goes, I'll come with you. I said, no, go back, go and pour yourself some wine, put your feet up. I'll come with you. I was like, no, it's fine, honestly. What have you got to hide in? Is another woman down there you're seeing? And it was all that scenario. So it was stuff like this going on all the time. And she just totally fried my head. And the signs were there within that first 3 months period. And I was in a bar with her. First time we'd really been out for a drink with each other. And it was in a local bar that I knew, and I knew some of the people in there. And I went up to get another drink at the bar. So I comes back, she goes, why was you so long? Now, the bar is where Ben is with you. And she was sat on the table with you, so it was a short distance. And she said, because you were chatting to the bar lady. I said, hang on now. I said, she's serving me drinks, plus I know her. So I said, even if I didn't know her, I'm still going to be having like short talk with her. And she kicked off. So I literally then got up and I said, I'm not dealing with this. We'd only been seeing each other about 9 weeks, something like that. So I walked out the pub and I said, that's it. And she goes, that's it. I'm going to ring the police on you. I'm like, what? And so I dialed 999. I chucked my phone at her. I said, you are? Ring the police. So she cancelled the call. I rung her a taxi because she got back to my house and she ranting, raving, screaming. I was like, who the hell is this person? You know, and after all that time on my own and then meeting this person and then thinking she's wonderful, within a few weeks this has happened. So I sent her home. I even blocked her number. Then her mother contacted me through social media about a week later. Will you meet her? Blah, 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 blah. So I did. It was my first red flag. I shouldn't have met her, but I didn't know at that time. So I met her and she was like, oh, because she was drinking lager. And she goes, oh, I've never drunk lager before. Maybe it just disagreed with me and I was acting out of character. So I fell for it. So next you know, she gets me back into the relationship or trying to build a relationship. So I was invested in, feelings get involved. 6 months down the line then, that was it. She started heightening her game, doing more and more things. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And the biggest mistake that I ever did is I went to Vegas with her, like, and it's the first time I'd ever been away from the girls. And because she was so psychotic, she was always like saying to me, oh, you'll end up meeting someone else, someone better than me. And it was all that kind of thing, which I could see it now, couldn't see it at the time. And I said, oh, no, you know, you're the most wonderful woman in the world. I only want you. And then I had bad influence in the background. That's why I say, and what I've learned, don't listen to people. And someone's going to be, oh, you know, if you want to stay with her, you got to put a ring on her finger. Oh. And at the time, I knew it was bad advice. So I went and bought a ring. So goes to Vegas. My heart was pumping out of my chest, going, if I propose to her now, she's going to stop the grief. She's going to get what she's going to stop the grief. Oh. So we by the Bellagio Hotel. There was probably 5,000 people there. Gets down on one knee. Does the old, like, will you marry me? Inside, I'm dying, thinking, this is bad, this is bad. So she accepted. I remember we got on a bus then to go for a meal down to Old Fremont Street. And all I could think about, I messed up. What am I doing? The day after, and this is how psychotic she was, she caused an argument over nothing. And I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. I just can't deal with it. So I wanted to get out of the room. So she wouldn't let me out the room. So I was basically locked in the room because she kept standing by the door. I said, let me out. And she goes, no, because you won't come back. I said, what am I going to do? Jump on a bus back to South Wales? I said, we're in Vegas. I can't go anywhere, you know? I don't know anyone. So I said, I just need some friends. And she wouldn't. And she goes, the only way you're going to get out of this room is if you remove me from the door. Then I'm going to dial the American police and say, you've assaulted me. I was like, wow. So I physically then, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't, like, you know.
No, you can't go anywhere near.
No, so that was it. So we come back from Vegas then. She'd already, when we was out there, arranged then the engagement party. And the week after we had the engagement party, then that was call time then. That was it. It was done. And do you know what? It was such a weight lift on my shoulders. But I went through that period of pain then where I wanted her back because she messed my head up so much. I believed that I wanted her back and I had to go through all that. And that was horrendous because they draw you in and hurt you so much. They make you believe that, you know, that they're the best thing that can happen to you. They make you believe that everything that they are saying to you and everything they're doing to you is because of you and the way you are towards them. Try and twist it all around. So I had to go through all that and learn that it wasn't me. And it took me months to figure that out. And it took me 2.5 years to get my head straight.
Wow.
And I would never put myself in that position again. And off the back end of that, when I said earlier on about having a friend in business, 'cause I had a friend in business which ripped me off dramatically. Not the one I'm talking about with the burger van, but he was a predator because he come in and he could see I was upset and I'm trying to be the, you know, the sounding board. Oh yeah, I'm here for you. Let's go into business, yada yada. Went into something with him and then he ripped me off. So he was just like playing on my heartstrings a little bit to get what he wanted. So I went from a narcissistic relationship to a narcissistic friendship, right? And it gets worse. And then as I was coming off the back end of him, there was another one there, which was a woman. And with my SEO company, because that's like the commercial company, and she had her own little business, and I couldn't see it because I hadn't learnt the lesson at the time. So she come in trying to help and going, oh yeah, I can bring more business in, and she was. So all of a sudden, I didn't realize she was manipulating me into doing something. So Christmas of 2020, I gifted her half of my business.
Oh.
Half of my business, and I was like, wow. And at the time, I was like, oh, this is the right decision to do. And then it got worse. It got so bad. The staff were leaving because of the way she speak to them, and it got horrendously bad. So then I thought to myself, I remember doing TikTok video, I'm taking my business back. So it did, but it cost me a price.
Did you share it?
No.
Fucking
Not
what
at
a
all.
waste of time. He didn't even get a shag out of it.
Not at all.
Oh.
So yeah, I had to, and the hard pill to swallow there was I give her half of the business. She had a regular wage out of it, but it's a limited company. You give someone half the business, they legally can have that. So she named her price, and the paperwork was being drawn up, and it went from my accountant, and the accountant, I knew what she was going to do. And the accountant goes, oh, she's, because you've agreed to that, she's asking for another 1,000. I said, give it to her. And he was like, you're off your head. I said, no, because I said, she wants me to rise to it. She wants an argument. She wants a big debate about it all. I said, give it to her. So as soon as he'd done that, she realized then she could not push anymore. But that was 2021 then, Christmas 2020, I handed the money over, and it was such a weight lifted off my shoulder. No, sorry, 2022. It was such a weight lifted off my shoulders, it was unbelievable. It was worth every penny to get rid of her. But at that point, I said to myself, now you learn. Because if you don't, you're going to do it again. There's 3 people have done similar things to you, you know? So I learned from that point, never again. Never again. So I had it emotionally, and then I got ripped off financially through it, you know? But the worst part was the emotional part. Through being with 3 people, which were narcissistic idiots, and around the manipulation and the way they were. But it taught me a lot. It learnt me a lot. And that helps me then to put it out on video and help other people. But yes, people are shocking out there, the way they treat other people. And the worst part about it all is when they play the victim. And they play you as the villain in their story. And I've always allowed them to do that because I don't feel that I got to explain myself to people. Because if I got to explain myself to people that are meant to know me, you don't deserve a position at my table. So, excuse my language, piss off.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So the ones that know me never questioned me. They already know the truth. Never said a word to me.
Do you think you'll ever love anyone again?
Yes, I will eventually. Like I said, I've been split up 5-6 years now since her, and I've stayed single as a choice because you know the dating apps are a nightmare. We all know that. They're a minefield. I talk enough about those. They're a minefield. But yeah, I will love again. And someone said to me before, "Oh, would you ever get married again?" You asked me 5 years ago. I said, "I'll never get married." Now I say, "Yeah, of course I would." If I met the right person, I'm at a different stage in my life now. If I met the right person, and they were everything that I looked for and everything that I wanted, and they were respectful to me, they were respectful to my girls, and it evolved that way, I would not say no. I'm not saying I would purposely go out my way to get married, but I wouldn't rule it out. But the answer to your question is yes, I will love again. But it'll be the right person. I believe the right one's out there for all of us. When the time is right, when the fit is right, that person will come to us. And but I just don't bother. I went back on the dating apps Christmas time. My accounts are there, but I never bothered them for a year. And I went back on, it lasted like 4 days, and it fried my brain. I was speaking to this woman, and she was asking me about the girls, because I put it openly up on profile, they live with me, yada, yada, yada. And I was saying, yeah, they're older, blah, blah, blah. So she knew everything about it. 4 messages down the line, she said, do you see your kids that often? I found the block button, and I thought, this is a waste of time. Because you knew she was having multiple conversations with other people. So, you know, I become an option, not a choice. And I was like, okay, I don't know this person, she don't know me, but if you're not going to give me that time to get to know me, and then ask me if I see my kids when we've already had this conversation about 10 minutes ago, you know, you're obviously invested into other people, which is completely fine. So it's easier then for me to block. So I just stepped away from it again. I thought, I can't be bothered. Too much like hard work.
What's your favourite dating app?
Oh my God. There isn't any.
Have you ever been on Find a Farmer?
Is that a real one?
Well, I did a podcast last week with a young lad. He'd recently gone through a breakup. Not so recently, but he's gone deep into these websites. So he's on all of them. He's on J-Swipe, which is for Jewish people only.
Oh, right, okay.
Because he quite likes the look of Jewish women. He's not Jewish.
Right, okay.
He's also gone on Find a Farmer, you can either be the farmer or a farmer.
Yeah.
And he's gone on there pretending to be a farmer. And he's not a farmer. He's a tennis coach. So here's the farming dating website. Find a love match. Here we go.
Oh, my God. Wow.
So this lad's sitting there because I went through my divorce and split up, and that all came before COVID, just before COVID.
Yeah.
So I had that entire COVID period. Only 50% of the time did I have my girls.
Yeah.
So I'd got 50% of the time where I had nothing to do except scroll through Tinder.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. but then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I had a serious relationship at 17 to about 19, early 20. And then at 22, I met my wife.
Yeah.
And I was married until I was 42.
Yeah, you met young like me with a girl's mother then, yeah.
So all of that stuff passed me by. I've never been to Amsterdam. I've never been to Thailand. I've never been on a dating website. Nothing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like the Argos catalogue.
Yeah.
It is woman after woman after woman after woman after woman. And then you download Plenty of Fish, and then you download Hinge, and then you download what's it called? Bumble.
Yeah.
And £500 comes out of your account first month. You're like, fucking hell, am I really paying for it?
You paid for it, no?
Oh
my God.
I
didn't
was
pay for
on
any
it.
No, I never paid for any of them.
On it. But then you very quickly realise, like you were saying, that multiple conversations, a lot of them are bots. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, you can tell that.
A lot of them are bots. You can 100%. Tell them. Fake profiles. And slowly but sure, the novelty wears off.
It does. It's a bit mundane. It gets a bit bland and boring because it's the same conversation. People ask the same questions, and it's tedious. And you're like, I can't do this all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's frustrated.
And I think it's done more harm than good. These dating websites.
It has, and now they've got so many, and it's more and more being created all the time in the background.
Like Find a Farmer.
I know that.
So this young lad came up with this idea. He said, "Look, Nick, I think I've got £1 million idea here. He said, don't steal it." He says, "I want to create a dating app that's called Doggy Style." Oh my God. It's not what you think. So he said, "Your profile picture has to be you and your dog.
Yeah.
And your first date has to be a dog walk. Right. So you have to." And that's your profile. And I thought, I don't know if it's $1 million idea, but it's not a bad idea. Yeah. And then young Ben, they've already made it. It's already a thing. Wow. But instead of you and your thing, it's just your dog. Yeah. So you'll know if it's a male or a female human behind it, and you swipe right or left based on their dog.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Could you imagine that? I mean, they do say that most people look like their dog.
Well, because let's be honest, they don't look like they picture, because it's all bloody catfishing, isn't it? How many times you've had that? I've had it loads. You turn up to a date and you're looking around. You go, where are they? And they sat in front of you. And you're like, don't look like your picture. It drives me nuts.
I went on a date, one of the early dates after we came out of lockdown. I'm not even going to say her name because you'd be able to find her.
I'm memorable.
She was into CrossFit.
Right, okay, yeah.
And she was one of the best in the world at this certain age category. That's all I'm going to say. And we'd be messaging, and let's go for a drink. So met her and pulled up, and she was there. And she was like, "Oh, you look just like your photo." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Yeah. "Of course I do. That's me." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you've not been on any dates before, have you, of this?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Yeah, nobody looks like what they really look like." No. And by the way, I'm not years old. I'm years old. She was 10 years older than what she'd put on the profile.
Oh, my God.
No, she didn't look horrendous.
No.
She was nice looking. She was a nice woman. But that was a red flag for me. It was like, you look like your photo. I'm like, what do you mean?
I know, and it is a red flag, because I always say that women that feel the need to put filter photos, they haven't healed from their past relationships or their traumas, and they still holding all that inside, because if they were confident enough and they learned to love themselves again, they put a normal picture. I have filters for fun, I get that, but on a dating app, you've got to put who you look like, because otherwise, when a man then, because a lot of men will just be ruthless with us, sorry, you're ugly, you don't look like your picture. Some men will be that cruel. I wouldn't say that, but you know, it hurts them even more then. So those insecurities they're harboring from another person, it makes it even worse for them. But it is shocking.
I think what a lot of people do on there is they don't have any intentions of actually meeting.
No, they just want
but they like the conversation. So if they've put a beautifully crafted image which is using filters and the right lighting, they're going to get much more attention in the way of these conversations and these, you know, compliments from men. I've got a horror story, actually. I'll tell you this one in a minute. But they've got no intentions of meeting them, because if they have got intentions of meeting them, you're going to turn up, you're going to be like, hang on a second, this is not you.
Yeah.
And I can remember turning up. So been messaging this young lady. She was late 30s, mid to late 30s. I was like 41, 42. Looked petite, brown hair, nice glasses, my kind of look. Lovely girl. Had a phone conversation with her. So, do you want to go for a walk? Yeah, let's go for a walk. So we decided to meet at this place. It was like a country park, and it was after COVID, nothing was really open, but you could get a coffee. And I pull up, and I look in the car next to me, or wherever it was, and I'm like, she looks a bit like the woman I've been talking to, but I reckon that might be her mum. Out she gets. She's like 6'2".
Wow. Okay.
She looks at least 15 years older than the profile picture.
Yeah.
And slightly overweight, should we say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So we've gone for this walk and this and that and the other. And look, I'm a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
I was nice and bought her
You
a
carried
coffee.
the day through.
I did. And then at the end, she's at the car, and I know she wants a kiss, and I'm like, I am not going anywhere near you. Not only because I don't find you attractive, because you fucking lied to me.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me.
And then she's got the audacity to say, do I look like my picture?
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah.
You didn't know what to say.
Anyway, I've got to go and pick my daughter up from school. I got in the car and I blocked her. And I phoned my mate up. I was on the way back. I said, mate, I'm traumatized. I said, because I don't know if lads do it. You send a picture of the girl that you've been talking to your mates off of Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get their approval, I guess.
So what do you think? I'm going to meet this girl.
And they're like, yeah, she's nice.
Yeah.
She's your kind of girl. Yeah, great. I was like, Lee, it's not good.
No.
But the real horror story, I'd matched with this woman, and it became very clear quite early on that we were just kind of friends. She was very attractive. I went out for a meal with her, and we were really good friends for a few months. And she was going on dates, and I was going on dates with other people. Nothing ever happened. We were just friends. Had met her twice. She lived in Bosworth, actually, and she phoned me up one day and she says, oh, I think I got myself in a bit of a pickle. I said, why? She says, well, I've been sent a ring through the post. Like, what do you mean you've been sent a ring? She said, well, I've been talking to this chap. He's ever so nice. Met him on Hinge or Bumble. I said, okay. And he sent you a ring? She's like, yeah, he told me he loved me. Asked for my address. So I've given him my address. And he sent me a ring through the post. I'm like, hold on a second. Have you met this guy at all? No. Do you know anything about him? No, he's told me he's a pilot or whatever it was. Spun this on, showed me this picture. I said, right, I'm telling you right now what's going to happen here. I said, go to the police station and tell them what's happened. I said, I guarantee you, in a couple of days' time, he's going to message you saying he doesn't feel the same way and he wants the ring back.
100%.
And when you send the ring back, he's going to say to you, that's not the ring I sent you.
Yep.
You owe me X amount of money. And you know what? Lo and behold, that's exactly what he did. But she'd been to the police at the time. She messaged him saying, whatever your plan is, I've told the police, deleted all of his accounts, he sent me that. But she gave him her home address.
That's the biggest mistake ever.
Never met the guy.
And this is why I say, with the apps, I say to all women out there, you can now interact through the app 100% by a phone call. So I always say to women, oh man, don't give your number out to people.
Yes.
You know, and I come up with something a good few months ago, and it seemed to work, and a lot of people are using it. Works. I created a 3-day rule because there's so many people on dating apps that just want pen pals. Like you said, you can talk and talk. They don't want to meet you, or you meet them, and then you disappoint you because you're catfish. So I made it plain and simple over 3 days. I thought you could text someone on the first day. If you get on, then ask them then to have a call on the phone the second day. Gauge what they like on the phone. It's all still going well.
FaceTime.
Third day, FaceTime.
Yeah.
Then see if it's catfishing or anything is not right in those 3 days, you lost it 3 days, and that's it. Because 9 times out of 10, I've done it. I've gone 2 days, and it's wonderful. Get the third day, catfish. That's the end of that. But then I haven't wasted 3 weeks of my life then, you know what I mean? So it's not as bad. Because catfishing, it drives me insane, because every time I've swiped through, it's just like filter. And in the end, I started, like, even if I found them attractive because it was a filter, I was swiping left on them. And I ended up swiping left on everybody. And I was like, yeah, I got no one to match with. And I thought the answer's why I'm not matching with anyone.
So we went out years and years ago. We would have been probably late teens, 18, 19. And we'd gone out, me and the lads, into town, the local town. And one of my mates never used to pull. He was an all right looking lad. There was nothing wrong with him. Very shy. We'd never approach a girl. Never pulled. Anyway, we've gone into this bar. It's not too late. And at the back of the bar, there's a little dance floor. It's not a nightclub. It's a pub with a little dance floor and dancing away. Anyway, one of my mates has come up to me. He said, Nick, Jamie's snogging some bird on the dance floor. So we're all like, we've got to fucking see this. So anyway, we've gone, and his tongue is down this girl's throat.
Yeah.
And bless her, she wasn't his type.
Right, okay, fair enough, yeah.
But he had a few beers. Great. Look, the guy's having a good time.
Beer goggles, they used to say, you know.
Anyway, beer goggles were on fully, and we were happy for him. And so he's come back, and then we've spent the night together, all of us and whatnot. And then the next day, he's like, I'm meeting that girl. We're like, no, you're not. He said, hey, I'm meeting her. I'm going to go and pick her up, and we're going to go to McDonald's or something. So we're like, honestly, what you think you saw, you didn't see. He's like, no, I'm definitely doing it. Anyway, his date's at, let's say, 7 o'clock the next night or a couple of nights later. And then this was when mobile phones had just come out. We'd all got those orange, like, slider phone that used to come down.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'd all got one of these.
Motorola or something like that, wasn't it? Was it Motorola?
Yeah, there was Motorola, and there was Nokia, whatever it was. Anyway, we get a phone call from this lad, and he's like, I've come to pick this bird up. And she's fucking horrendous. He said, but I don't know how to get out of the date. He said, can one of you call me in 5 minutes, make up some terrible, horrendous excuse for me to have to leave? Yeah. So we're like, fucking hell, all right then. So we're thinking, what are we going to say? Do you know what I mean? So one of us has phoned him up and he's picked up, we've made a whole load of bullshit up, and he's just got out of this date. Yeah. And you're just thinking, wow. But that's what's happening now in real life, isn't it? You've made a connection with somebody over 2-3 weeks. You turn up and it's like, oh my God.
Exactly. And that's what I said about that 3-day thing. Because I remember, it was a few years back. It's probably 3 years ago now. And this woman, she was messaging me, and it was on Plenty of Fish, right? For off and on. And she was like, 1 minute she'd messaged, then she'd be gone for a couple of days, and then she'd come back. Yeah. And it's all part of the learning process with her. So anyway, she messaged me again, and she goes, I'd really like to meet you. She goes, can I meet you on a Friday? So I said, yeah, no problem. And it was a specific time on a specific day. So I turns up there now, and I'm looking around, I can't see anyone. So I messaged her back on the app, and she said, I'm stood right in front of you. And there was a woman in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, you don't look like your picture. And she was shaking a little bit, and I thought, right, something's done add up anyway. The fact that she don't look like herself. So I sat down with her, goes, all right, do you want a coffee? Yeah, I guess a coffee. And she's talking, and then she's on about, oh yeah, I've had my kids taken off me, and I've been arrested, I've had this and that. And I was thinking, shit, what's going on? And then I was clicking what was going on then. So I said to her, I'm going to ask you something now. I said, have you been in hospital, in you know what I mean, don't know?
The not too distant past.
Yeah. And she goes, yeah, they let me out like once a week at this moment in time. And I'm like, oh
And this was
So-
one day.
Yeah, so I done a similar thing to what your friend done. I said, I went to the toilet. I rang my friend. I said, do me a favour. I'm in an impossible situation. I said, I've never done this before. I've always carried a date through, but I can't do this. This is just too much. I said, when I get to the table, now he's laughing at me down the phone. I want to explain to him. I'm like, don't laugh. It's not funny. He said, this is hilarious. I said, ring me in about 5 minutes. So then I can pretend then that something's happened in work or whatever, and I can leave. And he was laughing. He goes, yeah. So anyway, puts the phone down. He never rung me. 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by, half hour goes by, and I was like, oh, I got. So I had to pretend, and I had a text message from one of my daughters to get out. So I guess out there, leaves her. She messages me then, saying, I'd really like to see you again, blah, blah, blah. Same thing, I had to block. I thought, can't do this. I rang my friend, and I said, why didn't you ring me? He said, it was too funny. I just wanted to see how long you would stay there for. I was like, wow. But she was obviously going through a lot in her life, but she didn't look like a picture. And I felt really sorry for her.
That was her before the medication.
I know.
Have you seen those before and after?
Yeah.
This was the picture before crack. This was the picture after crack. Yeah, wow. And it's just it's just such a minefield, and I feel I'm an all right looking man.
Yeah.
I did all right on dating websites. I got plenty of matches.
Yeah.
But I do feel for people that are not, and it's not even always the good looking ones. It's, the ones that, I was a tennis coach. So it was a nice picture of me. I had a nice tan. First thing is, professional tennis coach, it does all right. But, if you're a normal guy that's not got a great tan and you work in an office, you're invisible.
Yeah, because you've got nothing really to say. That's the thing, it's hard.
They are never swiping on you. And you might be the love of their life. And it's just no. And it's
because we're all judged by a picture of me as well.
But one photograph, and a bit of a bio. And in actual fact, I think the women read the bio more than the men ever read the bio, because I don't even. In the past you swipe on there and then you get a match and you're like, I've got no idea who this is. I've no idea the name or what they've done. So you have to then go and read it.
Exactly. And I wonder if anyone's had a reverse catfish. And what I mean is where they've had a filter photo, and when they turned up, they'd actually dropped dead gorgeous. I wonder if anyone's actually had that, where it's gone the complete opposite way.
Or, what about this one then? What if somebody met somebody and fell in love with them?
Yeah.
And this person didn't realise that this person was actually really quite successful in a certain field.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's ever happened.
It probably has, isn't it? Because some people would keep their lives secret.
Some people do keep their lives pretty secret. Yeah. I like watching those shows where it's like The Secret Millionaire.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, yeah.
And they go into the shops, or even eligible bachelor.
Yeah.
And it's some guy just looks normal, he's a multi-billionaire, and whoever falls in love with him is that, you know what I mean? We were having a laugh the other day because there was a show, you might be able to remember it because you're the same age as me. It was back in 2004, Miriam. It was called. You know it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know it.
The guy, he had his head messed up, didn't he?
He did.
He
They couldn't do that now.
No.
They couldn't do that now.
After the show, if I got this right, he actually had to go for counselling because he was questioning because he thought he was gay, didn't he?
Yes.
He was like, his head was gone.
Yes.
He was like, I fancied a woman, but she was a man.
But
his head
it was more than that. They did things.
Yeah, they did.
They were kissing and snogging and all of this kind of stuff. You couldn't do that now because that is fucking.
I know, and I remember feeling sorry for him because all the other guys
were pissing themselves.
Laughing. Yeah,
we watched it. He'll put it on now.
Yeah.
But I remembered that. It was something about Miriam, it was called.
That's right, yeah. But she looked like the real deal, didn't she?
She looked like the real deal. And then there was another one, and I think it was called La Hacienda. So here she is, something about Miriam, bless her.
Never heard anything after that, did we? What happened with her?
No. So here's the reveal. Here we go.
That's it.
So they've gone through weeks.
And he's obviously got some kind of feelings going on for her by this time.
It was 10 grand as well.
I know.
They won 10 grand. His pecker's hard now. He's ready.
It's the way she's delivering it across.
I love. He's
This
now
is
got
fun.
feelings for that person,
Yeah.
which I guess opens up a whole new conversation of if you love somebody and you've connected with
That's
them.
the thing, isn't it? Yeah. Because they say love is love, don't they?
Yeah. But he was tricked into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wasn't told the truth at the beginning because there was no truth in any of that, was it? You know what I mean? He just was left to the end. But that was the whole thing of the show, wasn't it? And that's why they got away with it. But now, you couldn't do it.
I mean, could you imagine
No.
that happening now?
And I remember my father always told me when he was younger, for a few years, him and his friends, they went around the world. He went on a boat, get a job in places, and they were in Luxembourg. And they were in a bar, and his friend was chatting up this woman. And he goes, "Oh, give me the key for the room, because I'm going to go up and do the deed." Like, and the bartender was laughing. So my father said, and the other guy, "What are you laughing for?" He said, "He doesn't even realise this. It's a man." And he was going, "No." He goes, "Yeah, it's a man." All they heard is him screaming from upstairs, because obviously he put his hand downstairs, felt something else. He came running out of the room. He fell over the banister, right? And he broke both of his legs. Oh, I couldn't believe it when he told me. And I thought he'd wind you up. He said, "No, it was a genuine story." He said, "That's what genuinely happened." And and my father turned around. He said, "But to be honest," he said, "I could tell it was a man." But he said he didn't. He said
He'd had
had
a
too
few
many
drinks, yeah.
And
So
was
he
like,
felt a boner, and
Yeah.
he broke 2 boners.
Yeah. He did.
Bastard.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you look at those videos of the girls in Thailand and things like that, and it's just like,
I know. It's,
they're more attractive than the women.
yeah. And it's scary because,
Yeah.
you know, how many men get fallen into that trap and not realise?
Wonder how many just go, fuck it, I'm here now.
Yeah, I bet they have,
Let's
haven't
just
they?
go, oh,
I bet they have.
100%.
Loads of.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Josh said that he
Yeah.
followed through, didn't he? No problem with that. But yeah, it's a different world now for sure.
Oh, it is. We've got to watch what we say, what we do, how we act, what they put on TV. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, even certain things like with Only Fools and Horses, some of the stuff they used to, you couldn't do that now.
And it's a bit sad that you've got people coming out and having to apologise for things that they said 50 years ago.
I know.
You know, and not only just apologise, almost like, I don't even know what the word is, it's self-flagellation, and, you know,
Yeah.
I'm no good now, I'm disgusting, and I'll
Yeah.
never do this again, and now pay money out in whatever, and you're thinking,
And that's why
how's it
it's
different?
exactly. It's like with the comedians now. There's still some good comedians out there, but they're more like realistic to life, like Lee
Yeah.
Evans was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like people like Eddie Murphy and that, you couldn't have any of that anymore.
No
Because I
chance.
watched like his Raw, I've watched all his, and he was brilliant.
Hilarious.
And he was racist as hell on purpose.
Yes.
You know, to get the laughs from the crowd and
Yes.
stuff like. And he would say things you get locked up for nowadays, you know. But it was funny. It was and he meant no harm with it. It was just comedy.
It's comedy.
Yeah.
Have
But
you
now
ever
they can't do
listened
it.
to Cat Williams?
No.
Oh my
No.
gosh, so funny.
Yeah.
He must be 50s now, but some of his stuff is just so funny.
Yeah.
I like it. I do like. I like some of the female comedians.
Yeah, some of them are good. Have you ever been to a comedy club?
Only a couple of British little ones.
Yeah,
nothing
I've only
great.
been to one once in my life, and I was petrified to go to the bar because every time someone went to the bar,
You got
they pick
picked
on
on,
them. Yeah, and I
yeah.
was like, no, I'm
Yeah,
sitting here.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
here.
Yeah, no, but it's a fantastic art form. I like this one lady called Christina Pizowski, Christina P. Whose wife is it? Tom Segura. She's so funny. There's something very attractive about a funny lady.
Yeah. I like a woman
find.
that can make me laugh.
Yeah.
You know? I find it affectionate then. You're drawn to that person even more.
Yeah.
Because it's not just all, because we all like to make a woman laugh and make a woman feel special, but we want it the other way as well. And I think that's important. If a woman can make me laugh, they've got me. You know what I mean? I like that.
You know, if you can sit and belly laugh,
Yeah.
like, doesn't even matter.
Over silly things.
Me
Yeah.
or you, or me or him, or you and your partner,
Yeah.
whatever. It's one of the greatest moments
Yeah.
that you can have as a human being, I think.
It is, yeah.
It's up there with an orgasm, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is, yeah.
It's one of them moments. You know, can you remember when you used to
What's
be in
an
school?
orgasm?
Don't lie to me, plenty of fish. Do you remember when you were at school and one of you gets the giggles?
Yeah.
And then you...
It's like a chain reaction there, yeah.
And no matter what's happening, what the teacher's saying, how they're looking, you just can't
Yeah.
stop yourself. And you feel like you're giving birth. I've
That's
never
it,
given
yeah,
birth, but you
yeah.
feel like
I know what
this
you mean.
This is so painful.
Yeah.
It's hurting me, but it's so
I
good.
know.
It's so good. Could you imagine if... I bet you that could cure a lot of
Oh, yeah.
mental health and illnesses.
Laughter is the medicine of life,
Imagine
isn't it?
if somebody could do something to you or touch you in a certain place and it just makes you belly laugh for 5
Yeah.
minutes. you'd have a fucking good day after that,
Of
wouldn't
course
you?
you would. Of course you would. Because
And then an orgasm, and then you finish. That's it. It's the day.
And you'd be thinking about what made you laugh all day. You'd be thinking, oh, that was brilliant. You know.
And then, have you ever had one of those thoughts where something's made you laugh, and like literally for the next 2 days, every time you think about it,
it's in your head.
and it's just,
and you could be out in public and randomly laugh, and people just look at you and think, what's going on with him?
So funny. Because I often, if I'm in the gym, I'll listen to comedy sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll just be laughing, and I'm thinking, fuck, I bet these people, and they think I'm an absolute nutcase.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there, I've just lifted some weights up, and now I'm sat there laughing, laughing my head off. But you can see the air.
You say that because I got the, what do they call them, cans, whatever they call them. Because my daughter bought for me a couple of years ago, so I wear those in the gym. And sometimes I'll be in the gym, and I'll just randomly do a video. But when I'm doing the video, what I don't realise how loud I'm speaking.
Yes.
So everyone's staring at me, and I'm thinking, what are you all staring at me for?
Yes.
And it's me speaking too loud.
Yes.
Or I'll have a business call, and I think I can still try and do the business call, and everyone's hearing the conversation. You're like, oh my God. The amount of times
Have you ever seen those videos? They're obviously fake. Some guy's in a library is watching porn.
Oh, yeah.
And his thing's not plugged in, and he thinks he's watching this, listen to it, and everyone can hear it going off.
Yeah.
And they come over and plug it in and stuff
That's
like
right.
that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
I
But
tell you,
TikTok's not funny anymore, is it?
no, it's
It used to be funny.
yeah. So some people like I used to follow on there. They're still on there, and they find, but they don't do as many videos. But yeah, you don't find as much of it now. It's more
Instagram
the
Reels
battle.
is funny.
I've only recently, I had an Instagram account, but I'm still trying to learn about it. So I started by uploading things on there, but I'm just
Don't
learning.
upload the same stuff as you upload on TikTok.
Right, go on.
He taught me this.
Go on. What happens to that?
So,
'Cause that's what I have been doing.
yeah, don't do it. Instagram is Harrod's shop window.
Right.
Clean, professional, good-looking stuff, well done. TikTok's the behind the scenes of it, how we did it.
Right.
I was putting all the same stuff. He's looked at it, he said, let me do your Instagram account. It's fucking dead. So every
mine
now and
is.
then, nice picture, you with your dog, or do you know what I mean? Something like that. Not very often. But yeah, don't re-upload stuff. And also, because I've only just got my account back from the creativity beta program. I got banned.
Really? Why?
Yes. Well, this is why. If you upload something that is anywhere on the internet onto TikTok, you get a strike.
Really?
If you're on the creativity beta program. And I did it 5 times in 30 days, got my account banned. I got it back yesterday.
Bloody hell.
And it said for unoriginal content. So I appealed it and I said, hang on a second. This is me in my podcast, but we'd taken a clip, posted it onto the Pure Waffle TikTok, and I'd repost or downloaded it and posted it onto mine. And I didn't realise. But because that exact clip was on TikTok, and on my TikTok, I've put it onto mine again, no good.
I done, like, say, something the other day as well, and you are right, because the algorithm, we all know, is changing all the time, and I'm still learning a lot about TikTok. And quite often, like, I always put fresh stuff up all the time, but now and again, I might chuck something up I done a month ago, right? So, and what I noticed, a pattern that was emerging with that, is sometimes when I repeat it, it doesn't get as much engagement. So I done it again the other day, right? I repeated a video that I done 2 days before, put it up, and it had about 80 views. The original one had 2,000. And I'm trying to work it out. And sometimes, when I can't get my head around, if I put a video up and it haven't got hashtags on it, sometimes it reaches further. And that is blowing my mind as well. So it's still understanding and working it.
And I don't think anybody will ever work it out.
Not fully, no.
Not fully.
They change it.
Yeah.
They change it all the time.
Look, they are getting rid of short novelty, that type of content is going. Anything over 5 minutes, I think, is going to be 2024, 2025. 5-minute long videos minimum, up to 10, up to 30.
Now it's about 3 minutes, isn't it?
Yes, if you're not doing over a minute long video, it doesn't even count in the beta program,
I've noticed that, because what has happened is TikTok actually flagged up on mine a while back saying try and do longer videos. Now, I used to do longer videos, and at the beginning, when I was doing 3-minute videos, I was getting less engagement.
Yep.
And my views went down.
Yep.
As soon as I'd done a minute one, I was getting more engagement, and views went up. Now it's gone the opposite way. If I do a 3-minute video, or I have done some 5-minute videos, and some of them have gone viral.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's where they're going, because it's going to be, I would predict 2024. I would predict 2024, so you can hold me to that. I think there's going to be adverts at the start and in the middle and at the end, just like YouTube.
Yeah, that's where they make money.
You can't do that on a 17-second video. You just
No, you
can't do it. So, yes, just be very careful. because the entire month of December I was disqualified from it.
Really?
And I've had a few videos that have done 400,000 views.
Because I haven't had anything flag up yet there, because I have put him on Instagram, like you said.
Yep.
I have been doing that.
So if you put it on in, now the reason I'm saying don't put your stuff on TikTok first and then put whatever you want out there. You won't get penalised for that. But if you're taking something from somewhere else that's already on the internet and posting it on your TikTok,
that's what
you're
you mean,
getting
the other way
penalised.
around.
Yes.
So because I've been doing it the way I'm doing it, that's
Now,
why I saw it again.
I would imagine that Instagram's algorithms are fairly similar, and it would also pick that up. So they're probably not going to show it, but we're not monetized on Instagram.
No.
We're not monetized yet on YouTube or whatever it might be. So you've got to protect what you've got.
Yeah.
And at the minute, that's TikTok.
Yeah, because
I don't want that banning.
No, I don't, because I'm in that beta program now, because I didn't even know about it until it flagged up on my account. And when I looked at it, it's been around for a while, and I was like, why didn't I do this before?
Yeah.
So I'm doing it now, and obviously it goes with the views and yada yada. Some videos do better than others. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, so just be wary of that and make sure that it's original content there and then, and you've posted that onto your TikTok first, and then do whatever you want with it. I repost it to, so I use an app called repurpose.io.
Right,
I think I pay 30 quid a year for it. And essentially what happens is you set up a primary account. So for me, it's TikTok. And then I have 2 secondary accounts. One is YouTube and one is Twitter. What it does, as soon as I upload onto TikTok, it takes that content and reposts them to both of them with the same hashtags and everything, and takes the watermark off. So with one video onto TikTok,
so TikTok
I've
is
planted
gone.
it onto three. And you can do it onto other things as well if you wanted to do that. So that's good. Just because you're getting to the stage now where you're going to be making some all right money. You're going to be making some all right money, and that's only going to go up. You've got to protect that, but also don't put all your eggs into one basket. So try and get your YouTube monetized. Try and get your Instagram, in a sense, monetized by whatever you're doing. Make a series. Make sure you've got that, because...
Well, I've done, that was the thing on TikTok. I've done like only two series on it, but nothing's happened. I always put them onto the post, but nothing happens with them. But I'm going to consistently do it, because I believe you've got to consistently keep doing something, and in the end, something will give on it. Now,
what are your courses on? What are the courses on?
Well, I done one. It was not a course such. I was just explaining about my life, my experiences, and about my journey on TikTok. I done a 10-minute video. Don't know whether I done it too long. Haven't got a clue.
Why would somebody buy that?
I figured that the ones that have followed me, if they were interested in knowing a bit more about my back journey, maybe they would be interested and curious.
Could they not just go through your backlog of TikToks and see?
No, because what's in that video is different to what's on my TikToks.
Okay. And have you made that really clear?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
So always ask yourself those questions. Always hold yourself accountable. We're doing a consultation now, aren't we?
I know.
Podcast.
I know.
Things that sell are you teaching somebody something?
Yeah.
So I've got 2 series out there now. One of them is, here's 50 viral hooks that you can use at the start of your TikTok, cost you 99p. All it is 3 PDFs. Sold loads of them. And the other one is $15.99, 10, what's it called? How to quit your 9-to-5 job using TikTok, and it's 10 different things. This is what I did, how I've done it, how I've started, created, sold loads of them. So it's you're almost on the right track, but always keep asking it. Why would somebody buy this? Somebody would only buy things if they feel that they're getting value out of it. And
that's
quite
true.
often, we put something on there because we're passionate about it, and it means something to us. But actually, it doesn't really mean anything to anybody else.
No, and
whereas
that's
if you see 50 viral hooks that will make your TikTok videos explode for 99p, once you've seen that 3 or 4 times and your videos are doing shit, you might go, that's worth 99p, isn't it? And actually, they're 50 decent hooks. They're only off ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It doesn't take any, anybody could have gone and done it.
Yeah.
But, so it's that. But, I think the model's going to change. Well, I really do.
YouTube is the one that I started with that probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. Started working with that. And what I've noticed is it's different. Like when you're doing podcasts, they're always going to do well on there anyway. But when I'm putting videos up on there, if I do the shorts, they get views. If I do longer videos, I'll get no views. Not at all, not even one. And every time I put a short up, it might only get 5 views, but it gets views. Put a long one up, nothing.
YouTube's a long game.
I was going to say it.
YouTube's
but again, you've got to consistently keep working with it.
Yes, YouTube's a long game. Like I said to you here, I'm not interested in looking at our YouTube channel, really. until we've done 100 episodes. When we've done 100 episodes,
Then you
then
can
we
look at
can
it as a
start
whole.
looking at it. Okay, where's the retention? Where are people dropping off? How many followers have we gained? What's the best podcast?
It's because you
we've
can
done?
study it then and
You can
work
study
out
it.
how many views you had on that, what was different in that podcast to this podcast, or this video and that video, and that's how it works.
If you go on 2 dates with a woman, she doesn't tell you that she loves you. You go on 100 dates with her, and you've been consistent throughout that. She tells you that she loves you. You've got to do the same with YouTube.
Exactly.
It ain't going to tell you it loves you.
No, you've got to consistently
until
keep going.
you've been showing up and being consistent and doing the right things. Because again, how many people set off? Could you imagine if everyone got a good amount of views and they just did 2 videos and then I've never did it, and it definitely it trains you.
Of course it does. And I use that with everything in life, and even with business life. You know, you've got to consistently keep doing something, even if you think it's not working. It might take months, it might take a year, but all of a sudden something snaps and it works, and it does, and it does. And like you said, TikTok was the same. I gotta be honest, like I didn't expect my page, because my page, the way it obviously it's got a long way to go yet, but the way the growth was in it, 80% of that growth grew within 6 months.
Page up. Pull Steve's page up. We'll have a look at it.
Yeah, it grew within 6 months, and the rest of it now is taken a lot longer. You know, so things are changing. I'm always trying to learn with it.
Yeah. I say to people that come and see me for some coaching, you've got 2 seconds, and in those 2 seconds, you have to. So we've pulled your TikTok channel up here now. So within 2 seconds of any video that comes up, you have to have told your audience what you're going to offer them, what you're about. So for example, this one here, without looking at that, what's this about?
Oh, that was TikTok shop, Bones and Joints complex.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I'd have done is I'd have put something at the top there, saying it.
How did you do that then? Because I didn't think you could do that.
Yeah, you can, of course you can.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
So
Because I thought that just right. Because sometimes I
you're
don't
getting some golden info.
I know,
here,
that's
Steve.
it.
Right, so
Yeah.
do you know what SEO is? Not your business, but SEO.
Search optimization.
Search engine optimization. Okay, so you need to teach the TikTok algorithm what this video is, and you can do it in 3 ways.
Go on then.
So what's this about?
About bones and joint complex.
Bones and
Yeah,
joint.
vitamins basically. Yeah.
So this is how to fix your knackered knees. We could put, and you could put, as your first opening sentence, this is how you fix your knackered knees. Okay? And then in your description, this is how you fix your knackered knees using these supplements, whatever it is. So what you've done is in three-pronged attack, it picks up on the writing there. So let's say you were talking about smelly farts.
Yeah.
The world's smelliest fart. Your first words that come out, the world's smelliest fart. The first words in your description, the world's smelliest fart.
Yeah. So what I try and do, because some videos I will notice it up there. So when I'm doing my hashtags, I always try and put hashtags in to certain things I'm saying.
Yep.
But certain videos I got lucky with, and certain ones I haven't.
So just go through that method that we've just gone through. What's this one about?
Can't remember.
Don't know, do we?
No.
You can't even remember.
Oh yeah, well this morning coming down here.
Okay. So no description. So all you've got is hashtags. You need a description there. The longer the better usually.
Yeah.
Because you can stuff that with
Sometimes I do,
keywords.
but not all the time. You reckon I should do it all the time? is
All
it?
the time.
Yeah.
Be consistent. Train the algorithm.
Yeah.
I want to know what this is. So what was this? You're coming to see me?
Yeah.
So you could put my first podcast
Yeah.
with a face.
Yeah.
And the first words that come out of your mouth is, I'm going on my first podcast today, guys.
Yeah.
And then up here,
Yeah.
my first appearance on a podcast. I'm travelling over to Loughborough to see Nick from End the Struggle. Going to really enjoy it. I don't know what we're going to talk.
Yeah.
So straight away, you've now trained the algorithm, but you've also told people what this is about. So if I see you as you come up, the first thing that I do is I read it. My first podcast. I'm like, oh, this is quite interesting. Then I see it coming out of your mouth. I'm really nervous. I'm about to go do my first podcast. I'm invested now. I want to hear it.
Do you put the description then before you put the hashtags in?
Yes.
Right, because what I was doing it after the hashtags.
Pull mine up.
So that's probably where I'm going wrong. Because like I say, some videos do what you said, and other videos don't.
Partly where you'll be going wrong. It won't be solely where you're going wrong. So think about the things that we've just said. Let's have a look at some of mine then. So okay, so What's this? Yeah, I know. I'm asking you.
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
this? You know what it is, don't you?
£1,000 a month. Yeah.
£1,000 a month. It's in red. It grabs your attention. The title there for people that are on my homepage, Easy Money. So click onto that then, Ben. Do you want to earn £1,000 a month?
Yeah.
Do you want to earn £1,000 a month?
Yeah.
Earning money online has never been easier, especially when you use a platform like Printify. You can get custom, click onto it, and then my hashtags are, my hashtag End the Struggle, Money Online, Printify, and I've tagged us in it. So straight away, I've trained the algorithm. This is a money-making thing. I'm showing you how to make money. The first thing that come out of my mouth, do you want to earn an easy way of earning £1,000 a week?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, and I've trained it here.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I've also done is I've grabbed people's attention.
Yeah, and you've done it the opposite way around to me as well. You've put your description first, and then the hashtags. And that's what I've been going wrong.
Yeah. So how many views we got on this one then, Ben? I only posted this afternoon. What are we on? 5K, pretty much, which is okay. So again, New Year, New Me is a load of bollocks. What did it say here? Forget New Year, New Me. Let's try and recover the old year, or whatever it was. And yeah? So it all ties in.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make a video, so let's say that you're going to leave here and you're going to make a video, and you're going to say, this might be the type of video that you make. I've just had a really good conversation today with Nick at the Pure Waffle podcast studio. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is,
Yeah.
and look, this is me, it's not you.
Yeah.
Thank fuck for that. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I've just done my first podcast.
Yeah.
I've driven all the way over to Loughborough to see Nick from End the Struggle.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous.
Yeah.
We've sat there for nearly 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm buzzing. He's a great guy. I've learned so many things. I've
Yeah.
had an amazing time, and we're going to get some good footage from it.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you put the title, My First Podcast Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah? It wasn't a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it grabs somebody's attention.
Yeah,
And then
it
in
draws
there,
you to. Yeah.
just being on my first podcast, I was nervous, or I was excited, or it was great, use these words,
Yeah.
put it in the hashtags,
Yeah.
first podcast, clean and sold, End the Struggle, whatever it is, and I promise you, you'll start to...
No, I appreciate
you'll
the
see
advice, because
better.
I am going to tweak that now.
Yes.
Yeah, because obviously my objective is to bring more people, to help more people.
Yes.
So I need to grow the page.
You
It's
do.
simple,
You have to. You have to. And you have 2 seconds. What have you learned in the last 365 days? 2023 is over. What do you reckon this video is going to be about before you even see it?
About what you've achieved last
There
year.
you go. So when you scroll through, this one, we've got no idea what this is. I think this is probably something you posted, was it? Or did I post it? Whatever. No idea. Some people are going to be interested, some people aren't. Did your emergency alert go off? What's that going to be about?
An alarm or something, or you could
Remember
be
the national alarm
Yeah.
that they spent thousands
Yeah.
of millions on? Where was the alarm for the floods?
Yeah.
Nobody got one, did
No,
they?
no.
So straight away, did you get your emergency alarm? You're
Yeah.
thinking, no, which one? What are you talking about? The
Yeah.
big con. What does that? So
Yeah.
you're
So these have come up then because of the description you put in first then.
so these come up.
Because I've never noticed that before.
Okay, so these come up before you go to post it. When you put your description, this is shit for people that are listening to a podcast. So you've got your description, hashtags that you put in here, and then in the top corner is a picture of your video. And if you click here, it says add cover.
Yeah.
And then it takes you in, you've got all of these, and then you type in what you want, and it places it there. So when we talk about personal branding, all of my videos use that in that position,
Yeah.
with that at the top, and I only change that sometimes to a black one or a see-through one. I use the same font, the same. So when you pick 2 trainers up that are identical, one of them's got an Adidas sticker on it, the other one's got nothing on it. They're identical. You know which one's Adidas. If you like Adidas, you're going to buy that one. Even though the trainer's the same. Some people like me. Yeah? Some people hate me.
That's the way it is, isn't it?
But they know who it is instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that. So the best steak in the Midlands is about to go viral. It's pretty catchy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look what we just... Okay, what does this mean then? So
Yeah.
it's you're reeling them in those first 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you think about that with every one of your videos, let's get the title, let's get the hashtags, let's get the first things that come out of your mouth, all lining up. And I promise you, you'll see 10 times more
No, I appreciate that advice.
You'll
I'm
see
going
10
to take
times
it.
more views. I promise you will. And that's the beauty of it. And look, there's people out there that have got millions of followers, and they will have advice for me, and that's great. But these are the things that I've tested and I've tried it out.
Yeah, you've worked out.
I've cut the pause out at the start. I used to always start my videos with, so today I'm da 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 da. You've lost them in 2 seconds. Not interested.
Yeah, if you got to roll straight with the conversation, that's what I've always done.
You never believe what I just saw at Wilco's today.
Yeah.
What did you see?
Yeah.
You've got them.
Yeah.
And then you've got to deliver, and then see if you can keep them to the end.
Yeah.
And that's simply it. And just make sure that your homepage is, we can see what we've got, helping you become you again. There's the email, there's the link tree, it's clean. And I'm sure there are improvements that I can make there, but we're always looking to improve
Oh, of
things.
course, yeah.
And that's the best thing.
Yeah.
But you're well on the way, absolutely well on the way. But I promise you, if your next 10 videos, you do that, you'll see a noticeable difference in views.
I'll do
You'll
it.
be like, oh, that's that's good.
Yeah.
Which and then look, they might change the algorithm. Something else changes.
And then you got to move with the times. You got to work other things out.
There
test
was
things.
there was probably about 6 months ago where what you could do is you could do something called keyword stuff, and you used to be able to do this on early websites. So what we used to do, well, there was a few people that were doing it. It was just something I learned off of a SEO person. You'd put loads of really good words to do with your thing. So fitness, health, mental health, antidepressants, sertraline, whatever it was, and you shrink them down as small as you can, make them white, and then flick them off to the side. So around your video, you'd got like 300 or 200 or 100 or 10 different words that were relating to your video that nobody could see, but the algorithm picked them up. So if you were doing Xbox One games, you'd put it in the title, you'd put it in your thing, you'd put it in your description, and then around it, you'd have Xbox One, Microsoft, Xbox 360, shrink them down, throw them off to the side. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So now that's...
Things change and evolve all
yes,
the time,
they-
don't they?
they
That's
do.
the thing. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what people used to do on websites. So right at the bottom, people would type in all these loads of keywords, make them white, the same colour as the thing, so nobody could see them. Google picks up, this has got loads of really relevant content, so we're going to put that to page 1 or page 2.
Yeah.
And they get around.
And that's why, like, what you're doing with this, that's why I'm trying to learn, because with, like, my business page for Clean and Fresh, I worked so many years working out the algorithms and that, and I've got that sewn up, so I know what works, what don't work. This is different.
You kind of do know what works and what doesn't work. You only need to go and look down your videos. And you'll see the ones that's done well, and you'll see the ones that haven't. And
Look at the difference.
Go, why is that one worked and that one's not worked? Because a lot of people are lazy and they go, oh, it's just the algorithm.
Yeah.
All the algorithm is human beings.
Yeah.
If somebody
It's
likes
learning your
what they
behaviour
see,
patterns, isn't it?
Correct. If somebody likes what you're saying and seeing, or hates what you're saying and seeing, you're going to get interaction.
Yeah.
If nobody gives a toss either way, nor does TikTok.
No,
because
that's right.
nobody gets to see it. So
That's
it's
right.
the shares, the likes, the comments, how long they're watching it. You know, this algorithm knows where your eyes are, what part of the screen you're looking at, how long you've been on it.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a video for more than 30 seconds and then the next 10 are all the same one.
Yeah.
You're like, I've not even like this. I've just watched it. And it's phenomenal, but it is life-changing. I don't think people realise how powerful this stupid little app is.
And this is the way
costs you nothing.
I would recommend anyone to go. Do you want to earn some serious money and you persevere? I agree. Social media is where it's at. And I think TikTok is a wonderful app. I do like the app.
Yeah, I do.
It's brilliant. It's helped me do what I want to do. And like I said, when I started the app, I never intended for it to become with a monetary value. That wasn't in my mind, but now it's going that way. So of course I'm going to run with it, but I'm also going to continue what I'm doing and helping more people. That's why I want the page to grow. So
a book? There's a book in there, isn't there?
It is.
It's not on paper yet, though, is it?
It's sort of.
Is it? Good.
Most of it, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. That's one of the things I'm hoping to, I'm going to achieve this year. I want to get that finalised and then work out where I go to get it published.
Or do you go and get it published?
Do not know.
There's many ways to sell a book on TikTok.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You could do a series that you sell,
Yeah.
which is you reading it out.
Yeah, that's another thing, yeah. Yeah,
You don't need to get publishers in for that. Once
No,
you've got a
that's
big enough
true.
audience.
Yeah.
Now that's something that people would pay for. There's a subscription service what could you offer somebody that's paying you $6.99 a month?
You would have to do that as individual series, wouldn't you? Obviously. But yeah.
Depends, because you can do 10-minute long videos, and you can do so you'd perhaps do 4 or 5 series. 10-minute long videos if you're reading it out. You could even be a video if you're reading it out. But start thinking outside the box, because it's unlimited.
Yeah.
And if you're offering people something which you clearly are, people will pay for that. And there's nothing wrong in saying that.
No.
People find value in what you're offering.
90% of people now have got their heads in their phone. That's the way it's gone.
Of course they have.
You know?
Of course they have.
You look at screen time on most people's phones, it's like astronomical. Even my own daughter, she's saying the other day, "Oh, Dad, I've been on, especially over Christmas, I've been on my phone for 12 hours, you know?"
I don't even look at mine. I don't even want to look at it.
No. Mine's high anyway because of business. So I'm always on social media for what I do. Yeah, I know. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
What are you doing? I'm working.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, can I help you? What? I'm just working. There's another cat that's just fallen down the toilet. Mad. Steve, I think we're there.
Yeah.
That's like 3 hours.
Is it? Wow, that's gone quick, hasn't it?
It's a long, long, long one.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming.
No, so you're welcome. Yeah.
And like I explained to you at the start, we came in here as strangers.
Yeah.
And we're leaving here as friends.
Exactly, yeah.
And hopefully everybody out there that's watching this can see that. And that's what I love about this.
Yeah, you get to meet all different people for different walks of life.
I've got 21 new best mates now.
Yeah.
That have sat there. We've spilled our guts to each other. We've not lied about anything, whether you're a dominatrix or you're a footballer or a fucking somebody that's been suicidal or whatever it is. We sit here, and it's a bit of therapy for me as well, if I'm being honest with you. It's nice to talk to particularly blokes like yourself that have gone through what I've gone through and understand the difficulties that we have, the obstacles that we come over. But hats off to you and anybody else that has gone through all of the shit to get to where you are now, because putting yourself out there and online is a very rare thing. You think everybody's a creator, and they really are not.
No, I know. I've seen that myself.
We are the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of millions of times more people that consume than create. So you're going to get people that don't like what you're doing, don't like seeing your success.
And it's jealousy. It's
jealousy. It's problems in their own life. It's whatever. I've had people say shit to me online. I've never had anybody say shit to me to my face.
Because they won't.
They won't.
They won't.
Always,
it's cowardly.
God, you're the guy off TikTok.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
I know.
Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I love you.
And most of the people that attack on there, they faceless people anyway.
They are.
So.
And what you might also be arguing with is a bot.
Probably are, yeah.
You might be arguing with a bot.
Yeah, that's true.
Because why wouldn't TikTok send bots out there to increase engagement?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
No, exactly.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know.
They do.
They do. Of course they do. So the next time you're getting pissed off because you've had 100 compliments and one person's called you a dickhead, think to yourself, that's a bot.
Yeah.
That's a bot. They've seen that I've got loads of positivity. All of these positive people are now going to start to comment on this. It's going to cause a bit of a war in the comments. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this video goes viral. We make money off of that or whatever. I don't know how they make the money off of it, but always have that in mind. You don't even know if it's a human being.
No, that's right.
You know, you click on it and it's user 787772225.
Well, you get loads where you get it on an inbox saying we can earn you loads of money, and then when you look at their account, they got no followers, and you know it's a fake account or it's a robotic account.
So. No videos, no followers, nothing.
No.
Steve, you go and get to your lovely girls.
Yes, I will.
Pleasure.
It's my
really
pleasure.
Good. Yeah. Really good.